Hey,
half a pound
lock
of
and
tannerite.
load. It's another lock and load Monday, and this is an I Hate Knives edition. So, um, see, we've got to let everybody know about a giveaway first. Tops Knives is doing a giveaway. All you got to do is sign up and register. So head on over to the website, and they got a new website basically. So they redesigned it to go through their knives, and I found that basically I buy most of my top knives on Blade HQ, but it's like they blow out all the stuff, all the old knives on like Blade HQ or places like that, and then so they usually have limited stock of that, but all the new designs you have to buy from Tops. Like I've been wanting one of their knives, and it's been out of stock at Top Knives because there's such a backlog on it. But anyway, like I said, they've got a contest. All you have to do is register on their site. So this is like going to be an I Hate Knives broadcast, podcast, and there's a lot of that's since I missed the patch giveaway last week. We're going to try and do a Gun Channels patch giveaway a little earlier than before the end of the broadcast. But so for now, make sure you head on over and sign up. You got a few weeks to sign up, and I think they're giving away 2 knives and some other stuff. But
Yeah, I'm looking at it right on their main page. I'm not seeing where to sign up unless I'm missing it.
Yeah, it's on there. It's just hit the register button, and you're automatic. That's all you got to do. Anyway, so basically, I'm going to talk about how I pick my knives. Anyway, but just wanted to cover some topics. That other topics real quick. There's a case that I put in. I'll link it again. About it really covers all the. It's a Connecticut Supreme Court case that covers all the Second Amendment rights that were talked about in Peruta, and it's covered in the DeCiccio case in Connecticut, and which was basically a veteran got pulled over by the police, and he had a dirk or a police baton, and he was arrested basically for having a dirk, or and so he was convicted of that, and then they took that to the Supreme Court, and Connecticut State Supreme Court, and they overturned it, and it was. I just thought it was pertinent to Peruta because towards the end of their decision, it linked. It really talked about means end scrutiny, intermediate scrutiny, and strict scrutiny, and there really wasn't an explanation of that. Just listening to the Peruta case audio, and so. If you really were confused because they were like, well, the lawyers knew what means end scrutiny was or intermediate scrutiny was, then it's the Connecticut case that I just linked in the live lobby, and it's a PDF file, so you can read it, and it's kind of interesting towards the end when it talks about it, but. Basically, they overturned the case and said he's not guilty, but he had a felony on his record for a while for having knives, and it's a Second Amendment issue, same exact thing as guns. So, and a lot of states like Hawaii say you can't have a gravity knife, you can't have a dirk, and then obviously in New York it's a big problem. Everything's a problem in New York City anyway because they, if they stop, question, and frisk you, and they find a knife, then they show up the next day with a warrant to collect all your guns too. So, and all you have to have was a pocket knife. So, it's just all that left-wing shit. But so, I linked it. If anybody's interested, we're happy to talk about that. But if you were a little confused about the different levels of scrutiny, they talk about that in the decision, and I think it was unanimous. So um, it was a few months back. It's not current. People are citing it, still. But the big case is obviously Peruta. So anyway, moving on to I'm going to spend 60 seconds on the stock market crash and then go to knives. So basically, the markets crashed. China had reached a high, the Shanghai market at about 52.66, something like that, on just June 12th. And here we are, June 29th. And today it was like just under 4,000. So that's like a 20% haircut, 23% haircut. And it's going straight down. Looking at the chart, it looks like a ski slope. And they tried. They just, everybody was saying, "Oh, look out for China. There's going to be the new currency," because just this weekend they opened a new $97 billion bank, and 57 countries contributed to an international bank to help with trade. And they just cut interest rates in China, but everything just still crashed. And if you look at the market, it's been going straight up, straight up, straight up, and all the real estate values in China it's a bubble, and we know how that is in America. And the stock market was a bubble, and the Chinese regulators are now considering banning all IPOs because people were just buying anything that was an IPO, and they're thinking of unwinding some of the IPOs that they did because there was no substance to some of these IPOs. And so it looks like it's going to keep crashing down another 20%, like in the next weeks. And almost nothing went up today. Sugar went up, but I was trying to find a commodity, but nothing went up, so you can buy some sugar, I guess. But pour some sugar on me, or on Quark's cat.
That was a bad time for me to come into this chat.
You definitely.
Pour some sugar on you.
That's basically the first thing I heard. Eek.
All right. Well, I was just talking about the market crash. So, and then Greece, basically, thing with Greece leaving the EU. Everybody in Greece, all the ATMs are off. I know how that is because when the fiber optic cable went down in Hawaii for like a week, and there was no banking, but you can withdraw like $66 once a week or something in Greece and that's it. So
since they're exiting from the EU.
Maybe not.
I thought you said they were. I haven't looked at the news at all today. So
all right. Well, the news was China market crashed, and Greece causes everybody else to crash too. Those two things, basically. And what happened in Greece is they're having a vote on July 5th. Yes, to agree to the European Union banker demands, or no, to tell the EU to fuck off. And why does Greece matter? It's only because the EU, the international bankers that support the euro and the European Union, they don't want to invest in it. It's not enough for there to be just like 17 countries that have one currency and who agree upon an exchange rate. If that's all the EU is, it's toast. If anybody can just come and go, then the EU. So they're trying to, give Greece a good deal, but Greece is broken. There's like a 50% unemployment. It just, it's pretty bad. So people are leaving Greece, and if you're there, you can only, unless you have a foreign, bank account, you can't get cash. So in between, the possibility of the EU imploding and China's stock market crashing from 51 152.66, I think it was, on June 12th to under 4,000 today. That's enough to cause the market to go. But the U.S. market only went down. The Dow's down 350 points. That's not like super catastrophic.
Oh,
We won't get killed.
That's like a normal Monday nowadays
A
with how
normal Monday,
volatile everything's been
yeah, it's
jumping
not like
around.
the end of the world. It's not like a 600-point drop, and it's not like after 9/11 when, but people were selling everything. There was like almost no refuge of anything that went up today. That's the one thing I'll say, just watching the market. There wasn't anything good, except sugar.
So what is this that I'm reading? Like good news for the 99% middle class? Something with overtime?
Overtime.
Yeah. I've read in a couple spots where Obama did something with overtime that's supposed to help out the middle class. I don't know if I'm just reading something off the Onion and just glancing at it or what, or if you guys read anything.
Now the news I watched today, from this morning, I watched Bloomberg and CNBC till when the markets opened and closed. I didn't hear anything about that.
Okay, I must have been just browsing something and reading some bullshit. So the last 5 minutes, erase from your mental.
All right. So, okay, we covered the DeCiccio knife rights case. We covered the market crash. Now we can talk about guns, or not knives, guns, not guns, knives. So, how I pick a knife, like, is, it's basically based on the knives have, I guess, a couple characteristics: the profile of the blade, the type of the steel, and the quality of the workmanship. And I have some cheap knives that do the job, but there's like, and when you look at YouTube videos, it's really hard to tell what knife will work out for you. And so, because there's a lot of collectors on YouTube who have like 1,000 knives or something ridiculous, and a lot of the big knife channels, they have when they even unbox a knife, it'll be like a 15-minute video, and if they review a knife, it'll be a 20-minute video, so they can drag it as long as possible and make as much money off of reviewing it. And it's like, okay, everybody knows, by 5 minutes everybody's gonna quit. So anyway, I never understand those YouTube channels, but
for me, if a knife is sharp and it looks cool, I buy it. I'm not a knife tard at all.
Right.
I don't look, oh, knife, oh my god, I need it. So, like, Emerson had a new knife this weekend, and a buddy of mine said, oh, I don't have that Emerson, so he bought it. And that's why he bought it. I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. It's okay to be a collector, but I pretty much just try and buy knives that I know I'm going to need. And I wanted a couple of machetes, and so I got like my last video was the Malaysian parang, and that's the first time I ever went with a heavier blade, because they make a lighter version of it. But I have a Tops machete, and it's like longer by 6 inches, but it's lighter. But the heavier blade, you could chop down a tree with that parang. It's like a ½ an inch thick or something ridiculous. It's heavy, and you can just chop a tree down real easy with that thing. And that actually was one of the first blades. I don't know if it is the first blade. Yeah, I think it is. That's differentially hardened along the edge. And I didn't even know you could, they did that with the type of steel. You don't see too much on 5160 steel with parangs. I'm going to just link it really quick.
I just put something in the side chat and external of what I read today. I was on Fox News. So.
Okay. I did watch O'Reilly. but I didn't hear him say anything about Obama doing anything for the middle class. But
Fox News, I don't know how good it is because it's on a major news network. But Obama proposal would make 5 million more eligible for overtime, which I'm not quite sure what that means. But
federal employees. Make me look.
Salaried workers who earn nearly $1,000 per week would become eligible for overtime pay under proposal. So basically, if you work more than X amount of hours per week, just by one paragraph, could be getting overtime.
Wait, so somebody that works 1,000 hours a week?
No, $1,000. Who earns 1,000?
Okay, that's the limit. If it's more than 1,000, you don't. All right. Well, I don't.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. Yeah, I mean, salaried employees earning less than $50,000 a year would be assumed overtime if they work more than 40 hours per week.
He's just looking to close an existing loophole so that people that are actually working the overtime hours actually get paid for it.
Right. But I mean, if your salary, you go into that knowing it. And that's coming from a salaried employee. I mean, whenever I started.
Yeah, I'm salaried as well, and I do work all the time, off hours. So, yeah.
Well, I ran my own business, so I was a slave.
I don't think I remember the last time I drew a paycheck on one of my businesses.
Well, I take money out of my business, when I was running it. I mean, it's closed.
Never did I ever get a paycheck. I could take money when I needed it, but then you still had to jump through legal hoops to make sure you did it right. But
anyway, well, I'll have to read it because I really can't talk about it without having knowing. I just
looks like it's raising the threshold because now if a person makes at least $488 a month, I think it is, then the business can get away without paying them overtime, even if they work them more than 40 hours. It's going to raise it to where they have to make at least like $980 a week before you can get away without paying them overtime. So in other words, if you've got a salaried employee that makes $600 a week, and then you work 8 hours extra that week, you got paid.
All right. Well, this is not something I really care about at the moment because it's supposed to be a knife chat, but
How did we get on that from knife?
This is a knife chat. We need DB in here. He's like Mr. Knife.
Well, I was hoping to get Huck, but he hasn't been on too much lately.
Huck's been hiding.
He's been hiding? Well,
I saw a knife I want really bad yesterday. I can't remember what it's called, though.
I did just buy one. I got a knife the other day in the mail.
Well, so basically, when I'm picking a knife, you got two things to consider about: the job you want it for, the profile you pick, and
suit you're gonna wear it with,
and the steel.
What about the color of your shoes and belt?
It's got to match my purse. Seriously, I mean, it's got to.
Well,
it's a merce.
Which purse? Which purse does that have to match?
My Prada bag. What the hell else? Should.
Which Prada bag? Your pink one, your purple one, or your blue one?
This is off topic.
Yeah, this isn't a Stone Guy chat, so anyway.
Well, no, I mean, that's just, basically saying that you need to have multiple knives to go with,
Well, basically, yeah, you need...
I'm just messing up.
Basically, you have your tactical, your survival, your EDC knife, and then your job-specific knife. One underrated knife, the most underrated knife that I'm looking at getting is a fucking good kitchen knife. Because I've got a kitchen knife, but the steel sucks so bad I have to touch it up. I mean, what knife do you use more than anything else? Your kitchen knife, right? And my knife is a relatively, cheap Walmart kind of Japanese kind of a knockoff, but I have to sharpen it, and put it on, some Arkansas stones and strop it like at least every 3 weeks, sometimes more.
I've actually switched from branded kitchen knives, to actually just using Mora knives in my kitchen. I've been
Yeah.
happier.
More knives are great, man. They come so sharp, and it's not even funny.
Yeah, I do that too. I hardly ever like a regular steak knife for anything. Pocket knife.
Their Scandi grinds are freaking awesome, and they're inexpensive. They're a great deal.
I was cutting dill pickles because I like, the long strips for my hamburgers. I was cutting them almost razor, almost paper thin, I should say, with that Mora.
That's come in a can already cut, right?
Yeah, but I like them really thin. Like when you pick them up, they almost fall apart then.
Yeah, those more fishing fillet knives are fucking awesome for that. I was looking at Tops has a one kitchen knife, and it looks pretty awesome, but I forgot what it's called, but it's on their website if you sign up for it. But they had it on Blade HQ, but they're like, it's like a 4 to 6 weeks wait. They just have the picture on Blade HQ because they're not going to actually have it there. They can't catch up with the orders they have, so they're going to just sell it. It's like $115, but there's a lot for a kitchen knife, but it's really awesome. So I don't know. I'm going to go link it then. 1 second. Dig it up.
I think my kitchen knives are those Zwilling, those Hinkles. Is that what they're called? They're decent, but I wouldn't tell anybody to buy them. I want to get the ceramic knives.
Oh,
Those
ceramics.
Are great, so you drop them.
Yeah, but I'm hoping I won't drop them. I've never dropped the knives I have now.
Yeah, I mean,
They're not that expensive.
They can take a lot
your
of damage.
kids might.
Well, my kids don't bother the knives. They're too lazy to do anything that would require a knife.
one of my friends
They
is
just
a
grab
chef.
the meat, and gnaw it off.
One thing he told me is he had bought some ceramic knives for home use, and he's a chef, and they didn't stand up to how a chef will cut vegetables, etc., etc. So.
Well, they stand up how I cut it, probably, which is rarely.
Exactly. So they're not really meant for high use.
I don't have to worry about my kids dropping them because my 17-year-old just showed up at the door with a loaf of bread and a pack of cheese a minute ago and said, I want some grilled cheese. So that's about the extent of his cooking, is to come to me with a loaf of bread and a pack of cheese. And say,
Oui, papa, make me
Haven't you just taught him to just basically toast the toast and then put a slab of butter and then the cheese and then throw it in the microwave?
Oh, gross. That's so fucking
That
gross.
is nasty. That is
Yeah,
nasty.
that's kind of
Yeah, I know it's really nasty, but
No.
That's like
I butter the bread, and you got to cut enough cheese that it covers the whole bread. I hate when people just slap one piece of cheese in the middle of the sandwich and
Well, you don't have like a cheese cutter deal? The flat thing with the...
cheese cutter.
And all this time I thought you were uncivilized.
I think everybody in Wisconsin owns a
Although
cheese
I've
cutter.
also got those ones, that like, what is it, like the Happy Chef, the thing where the slicer that you can use for everything, like tomatoes and cheese and everything with different little attachments to it. But those things frighten me because I always imagine me slipping and just running my knuckles across those things.
I seem to have cut my finger off.
Yeah, those scare me. I don't use them. I've got one in there, a nice stainless steel one that someone gave me as a wedding present. That was probably it's like a $300 or $400 little modular cutting system thing, and I'm like, I've never used it because I'm afraid I've cut my fingertips off.
Holy crap! $115.
Yeah.
How do I cut the veggies for you?
Basically, this guy, there's a video. He went, the guy that
challenge.
designed it went to, I don't know if it was Vietnam or someplace, Thailand, some Southeast Asian markets, and this is the kind of knife they had in all the, the open markets. So he liked it and kind of copied it, and
Looks like it'd be awesome for cutting vegetables. The shape of that blade would cut vegetables real easy. Would roll real nice.
Yeah, but here's, let's see, they have the... I'm trying to click on the wrong thing. There's one where he's cutting meat. But Does that still show up there? Yeah. So I don't know. That's been on my list, and it was like, if I don't know, I don't think it's ever going to come up on Blade HQ because it's in too high demand. I guess to everybody. That's why I think cooking knives are underrated as far as knives. I mean, it's everybody has fun picking out a tactical knife, or a machete or a survival knife, but I think the one that people actually use the most is the cooking knife. So.
We'll talk about tactical knives. I always, when someone says to me like, I bought a survival knife, I always assume that they mean a filleting knife or a skinning knife. Because I was like, well, if you ever actually had to survive, skinning and filleting are going to be things you're going to be needing to do more than, cutting rope or tree branches or anything else. So I always have like a different idea of what a tactical survival knife is. Because to me, a survival knife would be one that you can skin a deer and then fillet the meat with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, their skinners are definitely different than any other knives. But so when you come to think about it, you might, it's like you have to get a lot of knives if you could get a tactical knife, a skinner, survival knife. I mean, but there's a lot. I think a survival knife, if it's just a skinning knife, I think that's two different things. I think it really.
I'm just saying that the category of what people consider a survival knife. They'll think a survival knife is something they can cut down trees with. I'm like, I don't have a lot of circumstances in survival where I would need to cut down trees. If it's long-term survival, I'd have a lot more chances where I would need to be able to skin an animal.
You might need to cut down a tree for a lot of reasons.
Probably not as often as I'm going to need to eat, though.
No. Wouldn't want to try to use an axe to skin an animal. I mean, you could do it, but it'd probably take a lot longer.
You can cut down a tree with the machete that I got. It's only because it's heavy enough to do it, and it's only 12 inches long. So
yeah, but by the time you chop down a tree with it, you're going to play hell like skinning an animal with it because it's going to be dull.
Well, yeah, but
they try to make these categories where one knife does everything, like that tactical survival knife, and I'm like, it's just not true. It's like saying what gun is the best gun for every circumstance. There isn't one.
Yeah, but you got to pick one because you can't carry 10 knives with you.
It's a lot easier than carrying 10 guns, and you don't need ammo.
Yeah, well, that's one thing, and so that's another thing when it comes to bows and arrows. You don't want some expensive, $1,000, arrow bow combo that you need. You need a professional stringer guy to put the damn string on if it breaks. Because if you drop it, it'll break. You'd be better off with a cheap recurve, and in a survival situation than $1,000. You can't have a bow that if you drop it, you're fucked. You
need the Tex Grebner bow.
He's a big fan of recurves. When I was looking at recurves, he gave me a lot of information on recurve bows.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of them, so.
I got one. I just don't have any string for it. I need to get some strings for it.
But anyway, so let's get rid of this frog market.
Recurves are the best to actually learn to shoot with.
Yeah, if you're going to have a survival bow, like a bow for when things hit shit hits the fan, I would say, yeah, have a recurve definitely on hand. I mean, have a compound if you want, but have a recurve too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got a crossbow. I sold my big compound bow. I need to get another one. Definitely have both.
Compound bows are more fun, I think, than shooting a recurve.
Yeah, I actually learned how to shoot on a recurve.
I'm more likely to hit my arm with a recurve than I am a compound for some reason. Never have figured out why though.
Yeah, that wrist area where you have to have the guard.
No, right in the middle of my forearm.
Ooh.
I've never done it with a compound, but every time I try to shoot a regular recurve, I hate that crap.
Off that wrist, you sissy.
I do.
Your arm is too fat.
That's probably it right there.
You're like, my breast keeps getting stuck in the string.
I just snapped my nipple off.
All right, well, I better save this chap by going showing another knife.
You remember, I got a joke all lined up for the end, so.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait. So this is my new tactical SWAT spike I got just a couple weeks ago. And, yeah, it's another Tops knife. I got it, off of Blade HQ. They don't have it on the Tops website. And but I really like that fixed blade Tanto. That's a modern Tanto, sorry, and the traditional ones are all curved, and but you know, I guess that's what passes for a Tanto nowadays, and I like it. And so it's 10.95 still. It's just, when you pick in a knife, that's the one thing is, yeah, if you can afford, you know, CPM 35 or 30 or 35V, crucible particle metallurgy steel, I prefer that to anything, but it just costs so much more. And I think that Tops doesn't use it because it wants its prices to be where people can afford to buy their knives. And this is good steel, but they have to have the black, stuff on there because it's high carbon and you don't want it to rust. Hey, did anybody see that new series that came out this weekend on like Forged in Fire or something? I think it was on History.
I saw it, but I didn't know it started yet. With the
Yeah.
knife makers going against each other.
Yeah, they have like 4 knife smiths, and they each are challenged to craft a blade, and then they have to craft another one. But it was at the very end. I've happened to fall asleep in the middle, so anyway. But I saw the beginning and the end, and at the end they did some trick where basically both the last 2 guys made a katana sword, and then they shot it with a bullet, and they had high speed photography, of the sword splitting the bullets, but it looked like.
Not to go all nut and fancy on you, but what's really the philosophy of use for that? For
a katana?
No, for what you're presenting.
For splitting bullet? Oh, of this SWAT spike? Splitting bullets. A SWAT spike.
It's kind of just a general purpose knife, there, kind of, I would think.
I would think that it'd be a great knife if you had to. I prefer karambits for defense, but if I had to attack someone for some reason, I'd pick this.
Okay.
The one I've got in my holding bucket for my next purchase is this one. You say karambit.
The CRK2?
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that's what I have. A Fox knife.
Nice.
Do you have the? Are you gonna get? You should get the practice knife if you're gonna practice.
My only problem with this is I'm reluctant. The only reason I haven't bought it yet is technically in Washington we're supposed to have a 3-inch or shorter blade for our carry, and this is a 3.2-inch curved blade. And I've seen some people like, well, it matters what the straight line of the blade would be, not the curve. But I'm like, so I would love to find one that has a 3-inch right at blade, but these are 3.2-inch blades.
Wait a minute. Is that because they have 2? Fox Knives has 2 different versions, a big one and a smaller one. Which one is this? Because they have
smaller one, isn't it?
I don't know. Chick, you better. Because I don't think that might be the big one, and the one that you need bigger hands on. You might want to check to see if they have a smaller version of that.
You need to look around and see if I can find it. Because if I could find one that had like a 2.75-inch blade or something, I'd be like, yep, perfect.
Yeah. Well, go to the one that they don't. That might be the big one. You need to check out. I think the only guy that can sell the smaller version has an exclusive contract with him for it is that like Ultimate Knife guy, Tad or Lad or whatever, and he has an exclusive contract for those. But you can get the practice knife. But I would go to ultimateknife.com and just check out, see if that's the same model, because they have a big one for big hands that most people can't use, and that might be the one, and then they have a smaller one. But there's Blade HQ has another one that I was looking at, except unfortunately it's double-edged. I don't know if double-edged are legal where you live, but it's a karambit, except it's with like part CPM steel. I saw it on Blade HQ, but I was like, they sharpened which is cool because karambits are traditionally sharp on both sides, but double-edged blades are illegal in some states like mine. But I think the length is okay. They sharpened only like part of it, but because it was CPM steel, I thought it was awesome. But it that stuff you can sharpen it great, and it holds an edge, and it's you won't have to. It's easier to take care of, and you'll just love it to death. But it's just more expensive. So
They do have on that one site a 2¼ inch blade. They don't have it anywhere else that I can find it though.
on Ultimate Knife.
It's on ultimateknife.com. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one, because basically there's two different versions, and one is bigger, and they have a test there to show you if you read it how you measure your hands to see which knife you need. But most 99% of the people, unless you're like some huge guy, like 6'10" with huge hands. I mean, I have large hands, but that knife's perfect for me. The karambit is like a really good defensive knife, and I can't think of a knife I'd rather defend myself with. I wouldn't want to attack somebody with it, but I could defend myself with it because it just takes some practice. And it's one of those knives. It's always with knives. The thing about it, the hard part is learning how to defend yourself and not killing someone. It's hard to do that. It is, because the easiest thing to do is just rip somebody's throat out or rip their guts open. That's easy. But that's also illegal, and you will go to jail. They won't want to hear any of the judge will just throw the book at you. So
I don't know why that is.
What?
Is that, are you talking about just Hawaii there?
No, that's anywhere. That's anywhere.
If you are defending your life, it doesn't matter if you're using a gun or a knife here.
If you slash somebody's throat, they're going to ask questions. All right.
Yeah, if you kill someone with a knife that you're fighting hand to hand, you run a good risk of going to jail.
Well, yeah, you're definitely going to jail. It's all, the question is, will you get out in the foreseeable future?
Because when a knife is really going to come in is if someone shoots you from across the street, your knife's not doing you a lot of good. Your knife's going to be when someone attacks you physically. If they're hand to hand and you use a knife, even if they attacked you, you're at a legally risky area.
Yeah, so it's hard to learn about. You have to just basically try, and if they have a knife, you have to rip the tendons out of their arm, slash their leg, and get away from them. You don't want to kill anybody, no matter what, because it'll cost you a fortune in lawyers, if nothing else. So that really comes to finding a good martial artist trainer and learning stuff. And
Wisconsin's not our carry permit also is for tasers and knives. So
you have to remember there's also a different legal precedent for defending yourself with a gun and a knife. There's a sort of an assumption, and I'm not putting this in the proper legal terms, but there's an assumption that if you used a firearm to defend yourself, you were in total fear, you didn't want to be involved in any conflict whatsoever. But if you use a knife to defend yourself, you were involved in a conflict, and you chose to get into a physical conflict. So there are two total different legal precedents, and like I say, I'm not explaining it well, but they do look at the two defenses differently.
Well, what if a lady's being raped, and she struggles and gets to her knife in her car? That's her only means of defense.
That would be
you're probably not going to get raped, so her situation might be different than yours. But I'm not seeing you getting raped, so I would worry more about our situations.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I said particularly a female.
Yeah.
Well, if you're a girl, I would say get a karambit because and worry about the law later, because it's very fast and it's very lethal. And
when you're a female, the disparity of force comes more into play than it does when you're another man, because juries a lot of times look at two men fighting as two men fighting and one man has a knife.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Because there's mutual combat laws, all that other crap, and that usually doesn't apply to women as much because they look at it as there's too much of a disparity of force there if it's a man and a woman. So.
And what it is about a karambit is just the curve edge gives you leverage that you don't have with the straight edge, and you can use your leverage in a lot of ways, and so that curved edge really makes a difference.
Yeah, it's just like a claw on an animal. It can do a lot more.
These little things cut like crazy. I've got 3 of these, and these cut like freaking crazy.
But those aren't SV35 steel. So let me go on Blade HQ because
I just use these these are work level knives. That's the one I had to put this one out just here because I usually keep one here for cutting boxes open and stuff. They'll cut right through cardboard like shoop with no effort.
Wait, which one? I'm not seeing anything.
The one I had held up a minute ago.
Oh, sorry. I was looking up something on Blade HQ to try and find that.
These little K-bars, they cut like crazy.
Yep, serrated edge.
Yep.
But is that a fixed or a flipper?
It's fixed.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like having one of those, but in a fixed position. It's uncomfortable as hell to carry. I bought one to carry, and it's uncomfortable as hell to carry it. So.
Well, basically, are you using that in a reverse grip because you're holding that in a forward grip when you're holding it up?
Yeah, when you carry it, you're set to carry in a reverse grip.
I feel so outclassed. I just used my buck knife since I was like 16. Just upgraded over the years.
I remember we used to all of us when I was a kid carried buck knives. I mean, buck or case. If you had a little more money, you carried a case knife. But I remember in school, like when I was in junior high school, the rule was your knife had to stay in its sheath all day long. We all had our little case knives in our little pocket sheath, the snap closed sheath. If you got caught with that sheath unsnapped, you were in trouble. But you could still have it on your belt during school as long as the sheath was snapped.
And there was no mass stabbings anywhere.
As long as up until I graduated, when we had one killing with a knife, then that kind of stopped. But we had people come in, put guns in their locker during school too. So
we had to take them to the principal's office. We could get on the bus in the morning with our hunting rifle. The bus driver would check the action, make sure it wasn't loaded, etc. And then when you got to school, you had to go straight to the principal's office. You gave it to the principal, and he put it in a closet in the school. And then when your parents came and get you, or your uncle, whoever came and got you, you just went to the office and got your gun.
Gun? I thought we were talking about knives.
Both. They're interchangeable.
We were talking about both there. But your knife you could keep on your belt. I mean, you could keep your case knife on your belt all day. I had a little, what's that material? It's kind of like a micarta, but it's like a yellow material that Case uses all the time.
Oh, well, I mean, it comes in different colors. I mean, what they have.
I forget, but this was a natural. It was almost like a bone material, but it was a deep yellow, and it was really popular during the 70s.
Don't they call it like banana something?
I forget what it's called, but I had the little yellow case knife with the nickel ends, the silver-plated ends, and that's what I had on my belt all the time, and you could keep it on your belt.
Yeah, I always had the wood, the old style thing. Just in my pocket.
Great. I'm looking for this thing, and I'm not seeing it. Did they not call it a karambit, or? Well, basically the thing about Fox knives is most of them are cobalt steel, and it's a good steel. It's not as good as CPM steel, but the prices are reasonable for the blades, and the profiles are awesome. And I have the fixed Fox blade and the folder, and those are basically my everyday carry is that and Spyderco paramilitary too, and that is just like whatever it lacks in profile, it makes up for in sharpness. I mean, I feel like I could cut through anything, and this because that has the particle, CPM steel on it, and it's just you can do it's an EDC that can do a lot of things, and it's just so damn sharp. It's not even funny.
Yeah, that one looks very much like the one I carried.
Yeah. I used to have one like that.
If I'd had a little more money, I'd have the stag handled ones, but
my
you
grandfather
every day carried that thing.
They all got sold at an auction. I wasn't when he died. I wasn't old enough to get any of them, so they sold them all.
Yeah, when I was a kid, this is what we carried. We just carried little folder knives like this. That was the thing.
I didn't carry knives when I was a
Carried a
kid.
knife from the time I was probably 11, 12 years old up, maybe.
I had to use karate when I was a kid. I would be better off if I could stay out of fights if I had knives. My dad carried knives.
We didn't carry them for defense. We carried them for,
My dad carried them for defense.
You didn't carry them for defense when I was a kid. You carried them for cutting baling. You carried them for, working on the farm or, stuff like that.
Yeah, just carried it to carry it. Usually defense was like the last thing. And I've had one on my person since I was like 16, practically everywhere. Never drawn it for anything that's cutting boxes or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you were always cutting something, cutting either a grain sack or cutting the baling off of a hay bale or something. Always, so you always needed a knife on you when I was a kid.
I wonder where they put that karambit.
That's how we used to practice with our knives. We used to hang a big grain sack and then just go at it like we were trying to kill it.
Sounds like you were a sack racist.
Yeah.
All right, don't go there.
I know. A sackist.
Yep. Sacks are ruining this country.
Yep.
Burlap sacks acting all better than everybody.
I think everybody should own a few sacks.
Oh, now you just pushed it too far.
I know.
I hate it when I'm looking for something on Blade HQ and just that's what's good about Tops. They don't have enough knives on Tops that they need as much organization as they built into their new design of the website. But
I wish I had a couple better pictures of the knives I just got. I could put them up. What the hell? Oh.
Yeah, but the truth is, actually, though, if you can't afford a real expensive knife, a lot of times a real cheap knife will get the job done. Especially for self-defense. If you keep it sharp, it's just hard to keep the cheap knives sharp. And
depends on what you define as cheap. I mean, even the $35 buck that I carry around is $4.20 eighths steel.
They can be harder. Well, buck knives are $4.20 steel.
Yep.
I don't really know crap about knives. So,
I've learned I like the ones that are apparently very expensive.
Yeah.
Cryo has been the most useful knife I ever bought.
Nice.
This M&P was $50, but I don't like it at all.
Well, cheap knives are cool.
On it.
Safety.
Yeah. So when you close it,
Yeah, you gotta push a button and
turn the safety on, you can't open it.
Yep.
And then this new one that I just got, this CRKT Hi-Ho or whatever the hell it's called.
CRKT, that stuff's made in China pretty much.
Yeah, it says product of China on it.
American designs easily.
It's kind of thin.
well, it's like Boker. Boker's made over in like Taiwan or something, but they still make a good knife, I think. Is it Taiwan? Yeah, Taiwan. Oh crap.
Then this Tanto was passed down to me, so I don't know where it came from. Shiny and shit.
If it was passed down, it had to come from somewhere above you.
Well, okay, it says made in Taiwan. And
Taiwan.
My mom gave it to me after my stepdad died, so it's not like he left it to me. She just gave it to me.
Yeah.
With a box of a bunch of his gun stuff.
Here it is. I found it. Somebody bought it already. Shit. They must have only had one. Let me link this one. Damn, if this thing didn't have two edges, I would have bought it. But it looks like a great fighting knife. But the blade length is actually a 1/4 inch too long for your 3-inch limit there.
I think we're allowed to have two-sided blades, but we can't have more than 3 inches.
You sure about that?
I think so.
That's a crazy law.
Yeah.
You gotta double check because I mean a lot. You
Also,
can't own a machete.
There's also exception. Well, I mean, you can't openly carry. You can't conceal a machete. I think is what it is.
Oh, you can't. Well, yeah, you definitely can't conceal a machete because they're so fucking big.
We have different rules, and there's rules about like what knives you can carry concealed, what knives have to be open, and then there's also exemptions that if you have a carry permit, some people were always telling me you don't need to worry about it because you've got a carry permit, but I'm never really sure what the exemptions are for carry permits.
So this was the Havoc Works custom. I was like, damn, I was really thinking about buying this knife, and if it wasn't illegal in my state because the top edge is sharpened, I would have bought it. But traditional karambits are sharp on all the way, both sides. But because there aren't hardly any CPM S30V steel karambits around. Because you look at the price, it costs $360. So they made probably one, and it's sold out. It's only been on Blade HQ for like 4 days or something. And I saw it, and I was like, should I buy it? Should I buy it? Now it's gone. So. But if you ever get your chance for a CPM karambit and it's legal in your state, then I'd say have a serious think about it because that's a good fixed blade. Anyway, took me a while to find it. Sorry.
Which one? This one? Yeah, it's too long a blade, 3 1/4 inch. I like the looks of it.
Yeah, and the top part is sharpened.
But I want a folder though. I think I want a folder.
Well, yeah, folders. Well, if they have the Emerson, wave on it, then those are the kind to get. But fixed blades, they're just heavier and they feel more substantial.
Oh
so,
yeah. I mean, I actually prefer a fixed blade knife. I'm using a knife, but if I'm going to carry it every day, I want a folder.
Yeah, I totally understand that. That's so basically I carry 2 folders. Sometimes if I'm going hiking, I'll have my fixed blade Fox karambit too, so I'll have 3 knives, and so that's before I even think about throwing on my backpack and throwing a machete in there. So it's just like if you run into trouble, I'd rather have a fixed blade than a folder. But I try and avoid trouble. But there's so many homeless people camped around the center of town nowadays. It's getting worse in Hawaii because people think because of the weather it's a great place. They just don't realize what the cost of living here is, and then they get trapped kind of. Anyway. The weather's good, though.
I don't even like the weather there. I sunburned through my fucking t-shirt.
Yeah, well, you definitely need your suntan lotion in Hawaii. That's for damn sure. Now, I don't know how G-Web's wound up with 1,000,000 bayonets. Maybe he can actually explain that to everybody one day, if he's listening, or at least type it in the chat.
A lot of people leave their bayonets around.
Yeah. So, shit, we need to do a giveaway really quick for the gun channels patch. So if you're in the HVS chat, wait a minute, let me think of a number. Between 1 and 20. So just type a number in the HVS or Hawaii, what is it? gunchannels.com/HVS chat there, and whoever gets it wins the patch. So we missed it last week because I waited too long in the chat, and it was like over before. So I thought I'd get that out of the way earlier this time. And definitely go to Tops Knives, and also sign up for. If you just register, then they're giving away a couple knives and some other stuff. It's in between 1 and 20, Dano.
All the ones I like on here are out of stock.
Yeah, don't you hate that? Well, that's the thing is when you get the good knives at Blade HQ, it's like a company. They might have their own website, and then they just only send them one of each. Yep, still nobody's got the number. It's like they send them like one of each knife that they have a picture of, or.
So there's a 2.6 inch.
All right. Well, what would be considered the max short list from you guys then? Like, normally like a shotgun or rifle. What's the equivalent here that you want to have? Like a fixed blade, a folder, a survival knife, a machete. What's the must-have list?
See, my must-have list gets long because it's kind of like my must-have with guns. I don't like to say you just have a shotgun. I think everyone should have a shotgun, a good bolt action, a carryable pistol, a fighting pistol. So, there's quite a few things I think you should have pistol-wise. I feel the same thing about knives. I think you should have a good, larger fixed-blade knife, like camping-style knife. I think you should have a carryable, everyday folding knife. I think you should have a knife that's good for hunting, skinning. I think you should have a knife that's good for cooking, filleting. So my list gets kind of long.
Well, that's fine. I'm just curious as to what everyone thinks about that because, I don't really have many. I certainly don't have as many as Moon is listing in his photo right there. I just have like one fixed blade, my folder, and the obvious kitchen knives.
Okay, I'm giving the patch to Ohio because my original number was 19, but Scars had like a bunch of guesses, I think. So it was supposed to be only one guess per person. So
See, there's another one here I like. The Blade Tech Riptide. I'll stop. Does Blade Tech make a good knife? I'm not real familiar with Blade Tech.
Well, I don't. They're inexpensive. I think. Blade Tech.
Like $110, but it's out of stock.
Wait. Which knife?
The Riptide. Here on the show, I'll screen share it.
Is it on Blade HQ?
Yeah, right there it is. You see that?
No. Oh, yes, I do.
Well, it's got a 2.5-inch blade, which would be perfect.
Type of steel, AUS 8.
Yeah.
Well, it's covered in coated material, so the high carbon won't rust. Are you gonna sharpen that with those are a little hard to sharpen. You can use a Spider Co triangle sharp maker or whatever it is on that. I guess would be easy to use.
I'm a fairly decent sharpener, not the greatest in the world.
Well, learning knife sharpening is like a lifelong journey for me, and I'm still closer to the beginning than the end. But
I can do it, but it isn't going to be professional.
Well, I got Arkansas stones and a few other ways of doing it, but that looks like a job for one of those triangle sharp or a Spider Co sharp maker deals would be the easiest way to do that because those tricky it could be tricky with that. Is that a AUS 8 isn't my favorite steel, so but yeah, those double curves just kind of throw me for as far as sharpening goes. I like serrated edges; they're so damn easy to sharpen. But
oh yeah, it's hard to fuck those up when you're sharpening them too. You have the channel of the serration guiding your little stone there.
yeah, well, it depends on certain types are easier than others. Sometimes, I mean, the curve serrations are the easiest with uh, a round ceramic rod, and then some of the AK serrations are a little tougher.
And I've got that little kit that's got the different size rods, so it's real easy to do serration.
So I'm giving the patch to Ohio 45 ACP, and I say he's the winner. So just get that out of the way. Get back to knives, and hopefully somebody from Gun Channels wins the Tops knife thing too, from their website. I think it's open till the end of July, or I think July something. So anyway. If Ohio, if G-Webs has your info, send it to him or tell him. So, anyway, back to knives. Trying to do too many things at once. What's that? Marifoni. I gotta look at the chat.
It's like $3,500. What the frick, man?
Oh, they have some pretty cool stuff. You know, oh, is that a automatic up the front?
Yeah, I mean it's nice, but I don't know that it's $3,500 nice.
Well, you could call up and haggle if you really want it. Yeah, Marifoni makes some expensive stuff. Well, out the front, automatic knives usually cost more if they're well put together.
What is that antenna thing that comes out of the bottom?
How's that Malaysian blade you got?
It's awesome. It's heavy. It's that's the only time I picked a heavier blade.
That thing looks cool. Does that go with a rifle, or is that just alone a machete?
It doesn't come with a rifle. It's a machete from Malaysia. There's a company there called myparang.com, and they differentially harden the steel edge like they do on, katanas in Japan. So, but it's just not. I don't think it's that.
What I just meant is is it a standalone weapon, or is it just something you have on your side when you're walking around the woods with a shotgun?
Well, in Malaysia, you aren't allowed to carry guns, so that is it, as they say.
Oh.
Here in Hawaii, you aren't allowed to carry guns too. You are allowed to carry fishing implements, so you could say it's a fish chopping. But I don't think that'll go too far.
Well, maybe if you're on sharks, like this is what I use to kill a shark if it ever decides to jump on my boat.
Yeah, it's not a gaff, so it's a machete. You can use it for yard work. No problem carrying it.
I think the neighbors would be scared.
Well, yeah.
That's a knife.
No, they'd probably be more scared of my Tops machete than because it's bigger. But this one, it just looks it looks a little more raw. But it's
wicked.
Well, it's heavy and the edge is differentially hardened, so it's harder than the rest of the blade, and which is a hard thing to do with 5160 steel. So, but basically, yeah, it's one of those. If you're gonna go into the jungle and do, you need it for anything. That's parangs in Malaysia is what everyone carries, because they aren't allowed to carry anything else. And I think pocket knives in the United States, getting the right knife is what people carry here. So, you have to pick the right knife for the right job. And like we were saying earlier, you're going to need more than one knife, but you don't have to go crazy, when you pick it out. So I would say the type of steel is important, the quality of the design and the people putting it together. If you can get cheap knives, and you can get by with. There's a lot cheaper ones than this. It wasn't that expensive, but you
Oh,
can go to Walmart and get a machete. But
I got a drawer full of knives, and I got a couple of uh, katanas and machetes in a somewhere in the house. But my favorite's always going to be the little Saj kilowatt I got. I just got 2 of them, laser sharpened, and I don't know what the steel is. But
laser sharpening, you said?
yeah, in the instructions, I remember when I opened it, I'm like, what? It said laser sharpened.
Well, I never heard of that, but there's a lot of things I haven't heard of.
I don't know. I've never had to sharpen it, and it doesn't seem to dull easily. It's pretty nice. And it's light. It's in a polymer frame. So who's running this chat? I got an invite, and I'm like, who's running it?
I didn't send out invites. I sent one to Edge, and I think I just threw it in the lobby. That's it.
Oh, this is gun channels. Oh, I didn't know that. I got banned.
Oh, I see what happened.
I didn't do nothing. I don't care. I just want to participate. I think blades are cool. Do you remember those cheapo spring assists? You know, the spring assist. You put your finger on the back, flip it up with your index finger. Years ago, I used to go through those, cutting rope, cutting whatever, and buy like a box of them for $20.
Well, I don't have any. They're illegal in Hawaii, spring assists. So, but yeah, there's cheap knives that do the job done. So let me ask you a question: are you just here to annoy the gun channel guys, or? Cause
I didn't even know this was gun channels. No, I just want to participate.
But I didn't send out any invites to anyone, so that's weird.
I got one right here in my inbox.
Well, somebody must have sent it to you.
No, I ain't gonna bug them. You sent it.
I did not send it.
Hawaii volcano. Well, you want me to leave?
Well,
because I ain't gonna bug anybody.
I know you're not, but everybody in gun channels is like, you know how it is. They banned you. I got nothing to do with it. I'm not a part of it. It happened before I got here. Keep me out of it. I'm neutral. So.
Well, I'm not talking about anybody in gun channels. I was just making conversation. I just want to, talk bullshit with knives and everything. We're just people.
Yeah, we are. But this is kind of a gun channels chat. So, if they banned you, there's nothing I can do about it. I don't run gun channels, and
so you're saying get out.
I'm saying that nobody else is going to talk. You're going to kill the chat, and I'd like to have a chat. So,
I'll go.
It's not anything that has to do with me. It happened before I got here. Okay?
Actually, it happened yesterday, but all right. All you guys have fun and take it easy, all right?
Y'all be cool, Zombie Master. Aloha from the Big Island, man. Y'all be cool.
And gun channels, suck a dick.
You're right. Okay, he's gone.
He can't get back in either. What a shame. I blocked him. Block that account.
Well, I need to get a list of who to block or what stuff, because people have more than one address, and you know how it is. I'm not good at blocking people or figuring it out. So, all that stuff. I know there's a way to ban people, but from this thing, and it didn't say Zombie Master Ed, so whatever. I don't have a problem with the guy, but everybody else does. So whatever. It's not in my control. Back to knives. So what else have I got? All right. Let's see. Sometimes it's cool. I bought this one knife here. Let me link it because it just looked cool. And let me hit the screen share button. There it is. This is like Damascus steel, and hopefully it's showing up.
I got one of those.
Yeah, they look cool, but Damascus steel, when it was originally designed, it was in Damascus, and it was capable of breaking like the steel that was used by the swords of the West Europeans who were crusading or whatever. But this modern Damascus, that secret was lost, and this is what Damascus is now. It's artwork, and it's cool. It's a neck knife. It's not bad. And you have to oil it because it will the dark parts will rust up. They're high carbon and they will rust up really quick. So you have to keep them oiled and polished. But they're fun. It's a really cool knife. I like it. It's not. I mean, it can be useful. It's not a bad knife. But I think it would be my EDC knife. But it's definitely a fun knife. And so, anyway. Pineapple in the background because this is Hawaii. Let's see what else I got. Oh yeah, for this one I seem to get a lot of views on my top scalpel video for some reason, and I like this knife too, but yeah. And it's got that same Tops knife, sheath where you can position it in any, put it on the small of your back or position it anywhere. And it's got a great grip, and it's a scalpel design, and it's just another awesome Tops knife. But yeah, I think that was on sale. I got that. Also, and from Blade HQ, it's one of the knives that they don't sell on their main website anymore, so you can occasionally pick up a good deal. So I have a wide variety of knives, but if I have to categorize everything, so I guess you could say defense, self-defense, and tactical, and then survival, and then mission-specific stuff, like a cooking knife or a machete. But how many blades you can actually carry on you is fillet knife really depends. If you're not going fishing, you might not bring your fillet knife, and if you're going hunting, you might bring a skinner, and so you can wind up with a lot of knives. But I try and pick knives that I actually know I'm going to use. And then I consider, what the best profile is. So that's the first thing I look at is the profile, and then I look at the, steel, and then I just look at the overall construction and quality of the blade. So, anyway, I'm going to throw our link out for this chat out into lobby in case anybody else wants to join.
Now, you can't just go by what you're going to use it for, because if we just bought things we were definitely going to use, a lot of us would never have anything cool.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, like I'd never have a Barrett if I ever thought I was actually going to use it.
Well,
I wouldn't have 8 ARs if I thought I was actually going to use all of them.
Well, so why do you have 8 ARs?
Because I can. America.
You can have as many knives as you want, but
Yeah, but you have to have more reasons. Like, oh, I'm going to use that for this. You just buy it because you want it.
well, look at it like this. When it's like if you have a knife, then you have to keep it sharp, right? Otherwise, because a dull knife ain't good for nothing.
Mhm.
And that's a lot of work, having a lot of knives. I mean, there's some people that have like 2,000 knives, and it's like if they kept them all sharp, they'd never leave their house, So, I mean, some people will spend if you have like a big katana. Some people might spend 2 years sharpening it, just
Oh, yeah.
one katana. So, I mean, I think I've heard Huck talk about that. So,
Hell, there's some places over there they charge like $300 or $400 an inch to sharpen a good katana, and it takes them like a year to do it. Shit. What the hell? There we go. Yeah, it's too bad Huck couldn't get on here. I'm about ready to send him a PM and be like, get on here.
yeah, well,
Like Stone Guy or something. He had something similar not that long ago. It was fairly interesting, but I just don't have enough knowledge on the subject.
Yeah, Dead Horse was asking about Damascus. Yeah, the secret to Damascus was lost because basically what happened was Damascus steel was defeated, like the steel that was used by the Crusaders, and you could actually cut their swords, a Western steel sword, in half with a Damascus steel sword. And
Isn't the old, or well, I guess not wouldn't be isn't. Aren't the old katanas still basically a Damascus steel?
I
They
don't
just
know.
don't
No,
bring out the folds like they do in the new stuff because everybody wants to see all the folds.
well,
And in the katanas, they like polish them out so they're all like a mirror finish.
No, Damascus now is two different kinds of steels that are put together for artistic reasons, and Damascus then, nobody knows what it was. I only know that it used to be able to cut swords in half.
Yeah, but things have changed a lot.
Oh, well, yeah, nobody knows how to make the original Damascus steel anymore, so now this is Damascus steel.
Yeah, but what they consider Damascus steel might just be what we consider normal, like H20 or a different variation or something of it that has more carbon, right?
Nobody knows what the old Damascus steel was, so it's been lost to the ages. So some things you just don't know.
Basically speculation then on what it was in comparison to what it was European of the day.
Yeah, all we know is what the legend of what it did was Damascus warriors with Damascus steel, who fought in those times could cut Western swords in half with their Damascus steels if they hit it just right. So
is the ornate nature of it then supposed to be trying to copy what it looked like at the time?
It's just for looks.
It's just for looks. And it's more, like I said, it's more of a pain in the ass to take care of, because you're basically putting together two different types of steel. And as far as what katanas are, I'm not an expert enough at. You'd have to ask a bladesmith.
But are those looks based off of something, or is it just something they pulled out of their ass because it looks good?
Well, I would say it's all art. It's just an art design. So that's what Damascus steel is now. It was a mix of something, back originally. So that's probably is the only relation it has to the original the original steel. It was some mix of some. Nobody knows what the hardening agents were. Like, in the Fox knives, one of the hardening agents is cobalt. And, from the Fox karambits, and who knows? Maybe it was a mix. So this is a mix, and they've gone artsy on it because nobody knows how to cut one steel blade in half with another anymore. So, ancient secrets, from ancient times, but some things will remain a mystery. But hey, um, it is what it is.
Yeah. I like it just for the looks. I don't know
Oh
whether it
yeah.
even adds strength anymore, but there's some beautiful knives made out of it.
Oh
I've
yeah.
got
It's
I've got a katana
awesome.
that's Damascus, and that thing looks cool as hell.
Yeah, but the thing with katanas is that the good ones are differentially hardened, so that the blade,
Well, this one is. It's
edge of
differentially
the
hardened
blade,
Damascus. At least
yeah,
that's what they said it was.
it, so that the edge of the blade is where it's differentially hardened, right along the edge, is harder than the rest of it.
Well, that's where you get that Hamon line, isn't it? In a sword.
Well, differentially hardening it is different. That's sharp. That's from sharpening it, I think. But I don't know. I'm not an expert enough to.
I thought that line came out when they put like a mud on the blade, so that the edge would stay softer than the spine, and that when they did that to keep the temperatures different, that it brought out that line.
Dead Horse is mentioning that they seem to have found the lost formula.
Oh, where?
In the chat there. Here's the link on the side chat.
Okay. Thanks for stopping by, Moon. Sorry we had a party crasher, all you gun channels people, but I'll try and fix it for next time, whatever it is.
Hey, Hawaii Volcano.
Yeah.
I watched a documentary, and I believe it was a National Geographic documentary. It was probably less than a year ago, and they were claiming that they found the secret of the Damascus steel and is now reproducing it. And I posted a couple articles there in the chat about it, but there's a lot of stuff on it online about how they found the secret of it. I don't know if it's true or not.
Appears solved, right?
Yeah.
Is it your link? Okay.
But the National Geographic documentary, they were showing old, like, these ancient swords that were just half pieces of metal, literally, because half of them were gone from corrosion. But they were examining these swords, cutting them open, all this stuff, and from that research is why they were saying that they appeared to have solved it.
Did they do metallurgy on all these old swords? And because they'd have to do metallurgy, like you can't. I mean,
they literally took pieces off the sword and was dipping them in acid and stuff to find out their chemical composition. There was a whole documentary almost specifically on nothing but Damascus steel. And I think it was National Geographic that did it, but I can't remember for sure. But I'm looking for it right now. And then someone else was saying about how they get on the katana blades, how they get those lines. They were thinking it might be Damascus or something, but no, that's from clay.
Clay hardening.
Yeah, the clay they put on the edge to get the different temperatures. But I thought the swords were folded, so they were considered a Damascus steel.
No, there's a difference.
They are folded, but I don't think they're considered Damascus.
Is it just because they're all one kind of steel, or because...
No, they're usually two different kinds. Usually the back rib, and then the actual cutting blade. There is usually two different types on the real katanas. There are usually two different types of steel.
Yeah, well, you had to have two different levels of rigidity to the front and back of the blade, or they'd shatter.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, in the main blade, to get a Damascus, you just take the two different types of steel and then fold them together over and over and over while you're forging it.
Right? I think, if I remember right, I think Damascus was more like 3 or 4 different types of steel.
Oh, I thought it was just 2. Okay.
Just from the documentary I remember watching, they were saying what pretty much all went into that steel, and I believe it was 3 or 4 different types of steel.
Yeah, we use just 2 nowadays for looks, 2 different types of steels for looks, but quenching in dragon blood. Well, not many dragons around to slay to get blood from, so I'm just reading this article. Well, looks like I'll do some more research. It's hard for me to believe that anybody completely definitively solved that mystery, but I'll try and. Are these? Let's see. Was it on the History Channel or National Geographic?
I'm pretty sure it was a National Geographic documentary. I'm looking for it right now on their website. I'm trying to do a search. I'm trying to find out who did that documentary. It might have been an ancient weapons special though too, like on the History Channel. I can't remember, but I know it was a whole show and it was dedicated to nothing but the Damascus steel.
I doubt it was on the History Channel, because on the History Channel it's either got to be about World War II or Jesus, or they don't air it.
Yeah, see, it would be not. I just think it would be difficult for them not to have figured it out by now. With all the metallurgists, I'm sure that were interested, and just all the science that can go into it to figure it out now.
What this documentary was saying is that basically they found carbon nanotubes in these old pieces of steel. So these ancient goat herders were like the first people to ever make carbon nanotubes. And that's one of the reasons why the Damascus was so strong and all this different. I mean, there was a lot of science into it because they really looked at the metal and, like I said, they dipped it in acid and dissolved it and all sorts of tests. And but they found carbon nanotubes in over 2,000-year-old Damascus steel and stuff.
Now, it doesn't mean that those people understood the science of the carbon nanotubes, or they even existed.
Oh no, they just got lucky. It might have made it, but it made the steel a lot stronger.
That's also about creating carbon nanotubes by burning something that's garbage. I can't remember what it was.
Well, this ought to be something interesting to research and try and find out over this next week for next week's chat.
Yeah, I'll definitely find it for you.
That show you were talking about earlier, the Forged in Fire with the knife makers.
Right, where they shot the bullet at the katanas. Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen the show yet. I didn't know it even started airing yet. But when they showed the trailer for that show, I thought it was interesting that they said these are sword masters. And I've always thought of a sword master as
they weren't sword masters.
Like an 80-year-old Chinese guy or Japanese guy that's been making swords since he was 5.
Whose father did it.
Whose father did it. His grandfather made swords for
Yeah, well, you got to think that's how Damascus was. It was a secret that was passed down from Smith to Smith, and eventually they died and it died.
Eventually, the Smith that knew the secret had a Paris Hilton child, and they didn't give a crap about the family's business, and the secret was forgotten forever.
Or this is the Middle East we're talking about, so they could have just been killed off in another one of those dumbass wars. But the history is interesting. That's why you gotta get. That's why one thing that pisses me off about ISIS is they like blowing up historical things. But ruins or anything of any historical value. But
radical religions don't tend to like things that of historic nature that are counter to their religion or their beliefs. So they're always going in and destroying the museum. That's one of the first things when religious powers like ISIS, these radical religious powers take over, the first thing they destroy is the museum.
Well, William the Conqueror did the same thing. William the Conqueror, when he invaded Britain, he burned all the libraries.
Yeah, you don't want to have any information that counters what you're telling people.
Yeah, you don't want to have that would lead to rebellion if people thought that if they had their own history that and it wasn't what you were telling them. That's why they burned every museum in Britain that he could. That's one of the things William the Conqueror did. And
well, just think, couldn't you say that's even what they're trying to do now? Is get rid of the history of the Confederacy, basically? I know that's off topic severely. But it's the same general idea, isn't it?
No, I don't think so. I think we still teach it.
Yeah, but will they still be teaching it in a year or two, the way it's going?
I think you can't compare teaching something or destroying. We're not destroying libraries. We're just telling people to stop waving around something that a whole group of American citizens...
Well, they already burned a lot of Confederate cities to the ground completely, so it's too late,
Yeah.
I mean, when they burned Atlanta down to the ground, there wasn't anything left. But
let's look at it this way: you could say that this is what the flag used to mean all you want. Well, yeah, the swastika was a benign religious symbol too that actually meant strength and protection, etc. All these other things, and that's not what it means now, and that's not what the Confederate flag means now.
Yeah.
Well, to me,
That's a good point.
Not being from the South, Confederate flag always just meant like I'm a rebel or something, and that's about it. Just a rebellious nature.
To me, it meant the
You know,
general.
that's all it meant. But I'm not from the South. You know, I didn't actually run into lots of African Americans, and still opened a recording studio and had to record rappers. God, it's the worst way to meet anybody because not the subset.
Whenever I see the Confederate flag, I think of the General Lee. I mean, that's what
two rednecks about to jump over a bridge and not total a car on the other
I think of an old orange Dodge with a flag on top of it. That's what the Confederate flag meant to me personally. But
Me too. Exactly. Me too.
I'm not the race of people that it's completely offensive to, so therefore I don't get to step in and tell them it's not offensive.
Yep. And if I get to buy my Challenger next year, it'll have a General Lee on the hood, and it'll be orange within a month.
I mean, the Confederate flag doesn't offend me, but I think I have a sense of history enough to know that people in the South were invaded by the North, and they were just fighting, and not everybody was a racist, and maybe a lot of them were. I don't know, but
a lot of people in the North were racist. It's to me like, and also like I say, if my next door neighbor wants to put a Confederate flag on his car, more power to him. He might be a Dukes of Hazzard fan, or he might be a racist, and either way, it's not my place to care or say. Now, if the next door neighbor to him is black and begins to get offended, that's between the two of them. And that's still a totally different topic than a state flying a symbol of racism over their capital.
The only thing I object to is is historical revisionism. When people come and say the only thing that this flag could possibly mean is that you're a racist or something. It's
I don't even care if it means you're a racist. If you're an individual and you want to fly the Confederate flag, and if it's because you're a racist or because you like Dukes of Hazzard, I don't care either way. Do what you want to do and suffer the consequences. But I will not support a state capital flying a symbol of hatred to so many people over their state capital. That's a government-sponsored symbol of racism to so many people, and I will not support that. Individual ability to put a symbol of their racism out there, I don't care, but not a state-sponsored.
Wasn't the original Confederate flag looks nothing like that bar and stripes? It looked like a circle, stars or something.
Yeah, it's two totally different flags. The original Confederate flag was like 3 stripes and a big field with a star on it or something, but totally different looking flag.
You should have a flag with a buck knife on it.
Did the cross flag, did that come like after the Civil War or during the Civil War?
I think it was like one of the was it Lee's battle flag?
I don't know. I don't know the history.
It's actually a battle flag.
And I'm sure if I did know, if you tried to look it up on Wikipedia, I'm sure somebody had rewrote it from what it actually was.
So it was a general's battle flag.
It was a general's battle flag. It was a flag that one of the generals carried into battle. It wasn't actually the flag of the Confederacy. The flag of the Confederacy was totally different. But it ain't as pretty. And it wasn't on the General Lee. And I think that's why it is. I think it's General Lee's battle flag, which is why I think it was on the General Lee in Dukes of Hazzard.
The only thing I have to say about the Civil War is that, either half of the people were on the North and the other half of the people were on the South, and it's like, in a certain sense, it's like a football game. That's the side you're on. If you're from the South, you're on the South. If you're in the North, you're in the North. And the North was fighting the South, and it was like, that's the team you're on, so you're stuck with it, And then, unfortunately, a whole lot of crap came with, if you were on the South side, that it was just,
Well,
wrong.
They weren't joking when they say that it was brother against brother and stuff like that. I mean,
it was patriot against patriot, and so that's why I get pissed off when people do revisionists and say we're like everybody from the South was an evil traitor because they were against the North, and it's like we still see states' rights issues today, it's not a war that is ever going to be fought again. It's one of those, I just don't like revisionist history. I just want to hear the actual truth of what happened, and not what people think now,
Well, I mean, I do want to hear what people think now to a degree, because, like I said, like the swastika, it'd be great if someone says, "I put a swastika on my forehead because I'm."
Don't you want to know how it really was? Don't you want to know what really happened?
It really was, but that doesn't mean I have to ignore what it means now. And there's no way you're going to make a swastika on your forehead seem like a good idea.
No. Definitely not.
This one time at Nazi camp, we all got tattoos.
Exactly. And I could say it's like, well, because I belong to this ancient Hindu religion or whatever it was, whatever religion it was, that says if I tattoo this on my forehead, evil spirits will never bother me and my family will be prosperous. I'm like, well, that's great. You're still a Nazi. Get the fuck away from me.
All right, so switching back,
let's go back to knives.
to knives. So how about, does anybody have any like cavalry swords, Confederate swords, or
We have one in our family that belonged to my great uncle, I guess it was. He was a Union soldier. He lived in West Virginia, and when we actually went down to tear out his property, because his property had been condemned, it was an old cabin out on the backside of my great uncle's property. And when we went to tear it down, in the floorboards was his old chest, and it had his uniform and his sword and a bunch of other shit in it. I didn't get any of it, because I wasn't close enough related to him. But I know it still exists in our family somewhere.
oh, so you don't have it around handy?
No, I don't have it. I would love to have it, but I think one of my cousins has it now because she is the direct descendant of him, whereas I'm like he was my great uncle or something like that.
All right. Well, so you could ride around with your Jeep and a cavalry sword and a rebel flag and see how many people you could piss off.
Yeah, I would love to have one.
He could ride around with that thing on like a gun rack between the seats and play that song about when they fired our guns and the British kept coming.
It would piss people off, but if I had a Charger, if I bought a Charger tomorrow and they had one on the lot that was the same price as a regular Charger and it was orange with the Confederate flag on the fucking top of it, you know, I'd buy it in a fucking minute because I'd be like, hey, it's the General Lee, you know?
Yeah, with the yellow one on the side.
Yep. I would buy it in a second. But
well, you got to buy a Challenger now because the Chargers looks absolutely nothing like the old car did.
Yeah, the Challenger. Yeah, I meant to say if they had a Challenger. Yeah, if they had a Challenger sitting there with the painted up like the General Lee, I'd buy it in a second.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting one next year, and by God, it'll be orange.
Mad at me, but I'd be like, listen, this is because I liked the Dukes of Hazzard. It's not because I'm from West Virginia. We're Union. I just like the Dukes of Hazzard.
I like the car.
I'm taking it back.
The car and Daisy Duke. That's what I liked.
Indeed.
I loved Roscoe P. Coltrane, and I loved all of. There was, as a kid of that age, there was nothing about that show I didn't like.
I like the dog.
Didn't they carry some pocket knives on that show?
Well, they couldn't have guns because they were on probation, which is why they used bow and arrows and explosive bow and arrows and stuff like that.
I never got into that series, unfortunately.
Boo on you. Boo.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, I can't my whole life watching TV, you know.
Yeah, that was the kid when I was 6. When I was between the ages of 6 and like 10.
I think I was like 12 to 14 or something like that, but it was like the best show on TV to me at that time.
What the hell is this? White steel? Okay, Blade HQ has some kind of Japanese sword. I'm gonna throw a link in the chat. Just
Racist.
A Japanese sword?
That's a white steel privilege.
Yep. What if it comes with white steel guilt?
All right, there. I put in the side chat. Let me put it in all the other chats.
Kanetsune? What the hell is that?
Kanetsune.
Oh, that's kind of cool. That kind of looks more. Is it Chinese or Japanese?
It's pricey.
Oh yeah.
It does kind of look Chinese, doesn't it?
Yeah, because
well,
it's straight up blade.
Did the Chinese use Ray Wrap?
This is the only one I've got. The cold.
Well, if it's Shirogami, I think that's got to be Japanese.
Oakwood with a nin.
Well, it says country of origin, Japan.
I don't think so.
What? Say that again. It's definitely Japanese because it says so in the related categories at the bottom.
I hadn't seen that yet.
It also says country of origin, Japan.
Yeah, well, I hadn't seen that. I just saw the Shirogami, and I was like, that's a Japanese word.
All right, let me also screen share this for everybody that's watching
Cool
on
knife.
YouTube.
That's a cool blade.
How come they don't put any markings on this damn knife?
Is that a cold steel?
Cold Steel, but I can't find any markings on it anywhere.
Yeah, they usually mark it somewhere, but sometimes it's under the handle.
It's under the handle.
Now, as far as katanas go, this one's heavy, but man, is it fucking tough. I mean, you can't even see this has ever cut anything.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did a lot of stuff with it when I first got it to make a video that I never posted, but it looks like it's still brand new. You just wipe it down, it looks like it's never been used.
Yeah, if anybody ever doubts how tough those things are, just go to Cold Steel's YouTube channel and watch them smash the shit out of them and then just spring right back and cut anything.
I think I legally have to kill somebody now, though, not since I unsheathed it.
Yep, it must taste blood. We're going to put it back.
We'll put a pork chop with it a little bit. A rare pork chop.
What you doing, buddy? What you doing, dog?
That's the only katana I have. And I got it because it was super cheap. It was like 80% off on clearance.
Damn. Didn't that make it like $40?
80% off from where?
I don't remember where it was. It was someplace I was just fanning through, and it was like on clearance, and it had these cold steel knives, and I was like, a bunch of cold steel knives, and like they had one katana left brand new, one katana, so I bought it, and I remember it being like, they would say the original price was like $4.85, and it's like $80 or something like that.
That was the Yankee Marshall 5-finger discount hut.
I was like, I jumped on it, and I'm glad I did. But...
Damn. God damn it.
I made a video of it when I first got it, but never have posted it.
Yeah, well, so that thing on whatever it was, that TV show, Flame Master,
Forged in Fire or whatever.
Forged in Fire. Yeah, I think that was it. And like I missed the middle part, but yeah, the first part they had a specific assignment where they had to create a sword that was like in between 9 and 11 inches and with serrations, and like one guy overheated the steel, and it got too fragile, and he broke it trying to get the crafting of the blade right, and then so then I think I fell asleep after that part. But I know at the end, like they had 2 katanas that they had forged, and they shot guns right at both of them, and with the high-speed cameras they showed like the bullets fracturing into 3 pieces or something as they hit the blade. But they look like copper-coated bullets, but I mean, probably just
this
lead.
is the one I want from that page. I looked down on that page and I want this one. So if someone wants to buy this one and send it to me, please do. I would love to have this.
Which one? The $600 blade.
Don't look at the price. Just buy it for me and send it to me. Just put it on your credit
For a
card.
Tonto?
Oh, I'd still love to have this. Look at the woodwork on that. That's beautiful.
Jesus.
Look how pretty that woodwork is. Oh,
I will buy
really
you that
nice.
if you will personally demonstrate seppuku.
it'll be on somebody.
on my YouTube channel.
Exactly.
live gun channel.
I will PayPal that shit right up.
If you're too cheap to buy me that one, you can buy me this one.
Why would we? Well, VG10's
That's nice.
Damascus VG10.
Well, can it be VG10 and Damascus at the same time?
So you
The core is it's a stainless steel core. What?
So are you questioning the internet?
I would never do that. But I thought VG10 was just a regular stainless steel.
I still want this one instead, though. So give me this one instead.
It says the core is steel.
That's cool.
Well, magnolia wood. I mean, certain kind of woods you can't get anymore, import anymore. So I don't know.
A beautiful wood. So.
I know it's a street in Burbank. That's about all I remember from it. So that's from my
I'll be waiting.
studios.
First person to buy this for me, I'll say thank you in a video. So all my listeners out there, send me one of these. For what you missed, for those of you that missed my birthday, didn't get me anything.
Yankee, I completely missed your fucking birthday.
Well, it was last year, but
I was gonna say.
it's not like it was anytime recent or anything. Or Father's Day. It's been a good Father's Day gift.
I got my dad a Glock hat and a Team Glock ACU camo hat and Glock gun mat. So now we're a team because he's got a Glock and I've got a Glock. So he's got a Glock 30 and I've got a Glock 17.
Oh, damn it!
So we're a team. That was our Father's Day thing. So
Stupid ass printer.
I think I have a picture of it somewhere. But I'm not going to put it up.
I hate printers.
I kind of like them. I like print stuff.
I like when I print stuff too. I just hate it when they screw up and it takes me 10 minutes to get them working.
And what you hate is not knowing how to work a printer.
Well, I hate having a piece of shit printer. Does that make it any easier?
I've got so many dead printers sitting over there. I got like 5 of them on the shelf because it's gotten to where it's just cheaper whenever you run out of ink to go buy a new printer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Costco will re-ink your cartridges, load your cartridges, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I always get like one that's like one step nicer every time. I'm like, if I haven't got to spend that much money for ink, I might as well get one step nicer printer.
Like, this printer is so bad, it has never been able to feed paper unless you put it in one sheet at a time.
I have like a 12-year-old Dell printer with a scanner on top. You know, it kind of does everything, but it's 12 years old. And
The printer here now is now being provided by Kaiser Permanente, because Kaiser Permanente now provides all their nurses with a home printer. So if this one runs out of ink, they give us free ink. So now probably we'll be stuck with this one for a while.
Nice. See, like right now, it will not cancel the project that it's trying to print.
It's because it's calling you make up your mind, you undecisive bitch.
Well, I got the guy's zip code wrong, and now it's just being a dick. I caught it just as I hit print.
so Scars linked this page. It's all in Japanese. I don't know about a translate button. Anything that's on there. But in the Hawaii book, in the Hawaii chat page there. Geez, it's all in Japanese. This doesn't do me any good. They have a translate button or anything? ehamono.com.
I forget where I got my what I consider good swords at. See if I can find them.
I really don't have a sword.
Have you guys ever seen a sword with the coat of arms on it that says HK?
No.
Or know who makes it or anything of it?
Mm-mm.
No, not off the top of my head.
I'll try and show you here. I don't know how good it'll show up on video. Let's see here. I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up on... Let's see.
What happened?
All right, are you screen sharing something?
I'm trying to. I turned on my camera just to try and show you guys this mark on my sword. This
I'm not seeing
crest, coat of arms, or whatever.
We're not seeing it.
Yeah, my camera. I don't know. I turned on my camera and the blue light's on my computer saying it's on, but I don't see myself on the screen.
Well, if you can't figure it out, you can try showing it next week.
There we go.
Oh, you got it.
Okay, let's see. Can you see that symbol on there?
Yeah, it's a little out of focus. Put your hand behind the sword, so all we see is that. Close. No, all the way. Turn your hand sideways. Yeah, push it closer to the camera. Yeah, okay, we can kind of see that. HK. All right. What's it mean?
I have no idea. I just really like these swords. Wouldn't mind getting in a couple more. They're pretty tough.
Are they? You know, that's the thing. Like some of Cold Steel stuff, you got to be careful because they have some, like some Warhammer thing, but you know, the steel part is fine, but the handle you'll break it like after one swing. So some of their stuff just
These are
sucks.
full tang, steel all the way through the handle. That's the only way to go is a full tang.
Yeah, for a sword, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise you get one swing and that's it. Then it's time to pull out your next weapon. So if you have to carry it around. Now I've seen people carrying around, like really long, katanas, actually in Puna. They just stick it in their backpack. Puna can be a dangerous place. They're finding dead bodies all over. I mean, it's really ridiculous. You can carry around a katana, perfectly legal, but you can't carry a gun. I'm surprised they haven't found people with just like heads. Oh, we found a head.
That's honorable.
I thought there was like length laws in the United States that you couldn't actually carry something if it was over 12 inches or something.
Concealed.
There's no
concealed.
I think.
Well,
here,
every state is different. Every state is different.
Like here, you can't carry anything over like 6 or something if it's concealed.
Here it's 3.5
no automatics.
if it's concealed.
No springs. Stupid. I hate it.
Well, it's a violation of the Second Amendment, really, and that's what the case. That's why I linked the CC state versus DeCicci case, DeCiccio or whatever it is, at the very start of the chat, because it was a Second Amendment case about knives that was settled. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of a veteran that got arrested for having a dirk and a police baton, and they talked about all the same things, the same scrutiny in the Peruta case, means end scrutiny, intermediate scrutiny, strict scrutiny, and anyway, they basically sent the case back down to lower court and said this guy's not guilty, and so and told him to. They ruled in favor of the guy who got arrested, but it took first you get arrested, then you get your stuff seized, then they can come take your guns, and then they can, then you got to go to court, and then 10 years later you win. I mean, that just sucks. That shouldn't be what you have to do in America.
In the meantime, all your guns have been on police property. They're all rusted to shit.
And in the meantime, you're a felon. You can't get the jobs you want. You can't,
And the guns that aren't rusted are gone or have become missing.
And for 10 years you're a felon, so.
Yes, the big part of that, yeah.
I mean, there's just some stuff in America that needs to be fixed, but it's better than all the other countries, but it's that there's a lot of stuff needs work,
Well, and like Yankee said in the last chat, it'd be a good start. Just kick out all the politicians that are there now and start over.
Good luck.
Try that.
Good luck. They got redistricting gerrymandering.
Did they do that today? I didn't hear that.
There was some law about gerrymandering or redistricting. There was some Supreme Court ruling that
we have decided that only
okay.
somebody named Jerry can actually do this.
Your name has to be Jerry.
I didn't watch the noise. I didn't watch the noise or the news or whatever you want to call it today, but I didn't see anything about it. But I knew they were looking at that case where, was it Texas, where the people voted to say that the counties have the right to set the districts and not the.
Yeah, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of gerrymandering, basically. But yeah, there was a slew of Supreme Court decisions released today.
3 today, wasn't there?
Yeah, and there was the stuff.
Or no, yesterday was the last day, or today? Today's the last day.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of decisions released today, and that was like at the tail end of the news because the stock market crash was in Greece and was on the headlines. I mean, I watched Bloomberg and CNBC all day, and Bloomberg was the only one that made any sense from like 90% of the morning. So, and I haven't. When I used to be an avid stock trader, I used to watch it all the time. Like, seems like old times watching, but boy, CNBC is not as the guys that used to be there. I guess they're all gone now, and now they got David. Now the people that they have there I don't know. They just didn't seem as up as
Yeah.
the people at Bloomberg did.
I was just looking at the Supreme Court rulings to see if I could find the one about the gerrymandering, but I did find Ted Cruz just announced today that those parties not named in the suit are not bound by it regarding the gay marriage law that was just passed by the Supreme Court. What a moron.
Well,
Texas said something about that today too, but
Yeah, that's the most moronic thing I've heard. The Supreme Court says that anti-discrimination is illegal, but unless they said your state specifically, it doesn't mean you.
Well, talking about the one thing I researched because it was on last night, and with the stock market crash, was the Gold Act. You know, first there was an executive order. Roosevelt signed an order saying you couldn't have gold. You had to turn it into the government in 1933. And then some guy won his case, so they had to actually pass the Gold Act. I mean, you could keep like a collector coin or something, but you had to turn in all your gold. And that's when Fort Knox got built. But, you know, so that seems pretty fast just to say you're not allowed to own gold. You know, I mean...
Well, during wartime, they have all kinds of weird powers that they can do.
That was between wars. That was between World War... That was 1933.
I think it had to do with war preparations is what why they said it, why they were doing it. But
it was the Depression.
Yeah.
It was a depression, and they wanted to have the effect of increasing the money supply. You know,
it's bullshit is all it is.
You know, but so I think the first he issued an executive order, and then they had to pass an act, and I don't know, but it's just I thought it was interesting. You know, how you get from the crash and China Shanghai index crashing, Greece leaving the euro, and the euro not, instead of being a eurozone, it's just a collection of 17 nations with an agreed upon currency rate of exchange. You know, and that nobody will invest in. But you know, the world bankers won't invest in the euro if that's all it is. So it's just. There's so many balls up in the air right now, you know, everything went. That's why everything went down today. I mean, the only thing that went up in the market today that I could see was sugar and the volatility index, the VIX. And
NBC stock went down today too.
Oh, the Trump thing, yeah. They fired Trump.
That's the big story of the day. No, he quit. I'm telling you, he quit. They didn't fire him. He quit.
He quit after they fired him.
Yeah, but one cool thing is he doesn't need them. You know.
Actually, he kind of does, because if you actually read that biography on Trump, it's the perfect example of how to turn $1 billion inheritance into a $50 million fortune. That's basically what he did, and he reported.
Anybody can do that. He's just good at it.
Yeah, he's good at losing money. He relies heavily on his publicity money and money coming in from publicity and things like that, because he's not even close to being as wealthy as he likes to pretend he is.
Yeah.
Well, he
I could
issued a
get into a whole
statement.
thing about my thoughts about Donald Trump, but this isn't the place.
I think he issued a statement when he announced saying some papers saying his net, not his cash, but his net worth is like $12 billion or something like that. You know. Anyway, he can afford to run for president anyway. So with or without NBC, so he couldn't stay on NBC and have a TV show and run for president at the same time anyway. That's against the rules. So. You know, firing him was like, you know, he had to leave anyway. So what were they firing him from? You know,
No.
they just wanted to distance themselves from the
They wanted to
whole
make a big
insult
splash
of the Mexicans.
Get in their own news.
No, they just wanted to, you know, since they were losing him anyway, they just figured they'd, you know,
Let's slap him in the face on the way out.
super politically correct, because you know, a lot of Mexicans took great offense to how he phrased what he was talking about. You know,
A lot of people take deep offense when you speak the truth about shit.
Well, yeah, but he could have put it. He could have.
Put it better, but
some people.
I'm not going to win any Good Father awards this week. My 11-year-old just now came home, and I didn't realize he wasn't here. He just came in. I'm like, "Where you been?" "I've been at the park with blah 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 playing." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even know you weren't in the house." And it's 9:30.
There he is, smoking crack in the park, and we're
learned it from watching you.
He didn't learn to smoke crack from watching me. He might learn to eat bologna sandwiches while sitting on the couch with no shirt on, but that'd be about it.
I don't know which is worse.
My sons will be like, "Would you put a shirt on?" I'm like, "Why would I put a shirt on? It's like 95 degrees outside." And my oldest son gets mad at me because I don't wear shoes. He's anti-sandal for some reason.
Flip-flops are no good? Well, everybody wears flip-flops in Hawaii.
That's what I wear all the time, too. I wear flip-flops or sandals. I wear my little Nike flip-flops here or my Skechers flip-flops. I don't wear
I have
shoes.
Tevas.
Yeah, I've got some Tevas. And I got a pair of sandals from, there's one company that makes them. I really like them. They're the funny toad-shaped ones. They're the Merrells, I think that's what it's called. They're good. Is that what those shoes are?
I don't know.
Who makes those goddamn shoes I like? Well, it's not Merrell's. What the fuck is it that makes those shoes?
Crocs.
No, not Crocs. They have the front end is kind of shaped like a Croc, but the shoe was made by a guy who was an avid boater, and he made them for boating. And
Prada.
Pradas.
no, I can't afford Prada. I had to buy a Prada wallet once, and it about killed me.
Got them Louboutins?
That was Louis Vuitton. That was the wallet I bought.
You got a red sole? I have a red sole, but it has nothing to do with shoes. Oh, shit.
What does that have to do with? Never mind, I withdraw the question. All right, so is there any other nice stuff we can talk about or that we missed for this week? This is supposed to be an I Hate Knives chat.
Yeah, but I like knives.
I know, but there's an I Hate Guns chat on Gun Channel, so I figured I'd copy it and try an I Hate Knives chat just for fun. See how it goes.
Well, we know what Yankee wants for the next knife. Everybody else going to buy.
Something real expensive, yeah.
Yeah. I know what I want. It's more expensive than what Yankee wants. Because I want a Decepticon. Badly.
Is that a knife or a gun or
it's a knife. It's made
cartoon
by
character?
Do you have a link?
Is it Sharper by Design? I might be able to find a picture on Instagram. Now here, just let me search for it.
Oh, they have one on Blade HQ for $1,000.
Do they have one? That's cheap.
Decepticon 1 and a Decepticon 2.
They got a 2? Throw them
They're
up there.
both flippers.
Yeah, they're cool. I like them. I think they look really neat. The one I saw the guy was taking to Blade Show, he was bringing from Russia, and it was a really cool knife. It was like $3,600 or something like that.
This one here.
The $1,000 ones are just like the stock ones.
Yeah, that's it.
They're still pretty cool.
Love to have some ones of Chris Reeves knives.
That's not what I wanted.
This is a Decepticon 1.
Well, I know, but right when that knife popped up, Wayne's picture popped up.
Oh.
Because he said so. Yeah, those Decepticons, I like this. The one that he was taking to Blade Show was like all anodized. And it was all like purples and blues and reds. And it was really nice.
Yeah, so this is the best steel you can get. I mean, they're expensive, you know, when you get this kind of steel. You know, it's great. You know, that's why I love my Spyderco paramilitary too. It's CPM SV30 steel. And it's this is 35, but there's almost no difference, and just really minor. And it's only $120 for paramilitary too, and that is I can't imagine there's anything you can't do with that knife, you know, for a pocket knife. So
Yeah, I know when you can find these occasionally for around $800, which is
Yeah,
the most I
there's
could ever pay for one.
they have an $800 Decepticon 2 or 870. I think.
Yeah, the ones are the expensive one. That's a one that's on the screen now.
What makes that knife worth $1,000? Like
What it's made out of, the guy that made it,
titanium?
the number that's made. There's I think there's only a few hundred of them.
Titanium handle, titanium liner.
Yeah, it's all titanium.
Designer Alexei Ratui Konguin. He's Russian, so
Yeah.
I think he's Russian.
He brings. I think that's the guy that brings his own 747 to Blade Show.
All right. Well, let's look at the other one. Let me get it up. Decepticon.
Yeah, they've got the 2.
2.
The 2s are in stock.
$890.
Yep. And I think those have a. Do those have the titanium liners, or are those all or are they stainless steel liners?
Titanium handle, titanium liner. Weight 5.98 ounces. So
the one is what they started out, and I think he made more of the Decepticon 2s. Is why they're a little cheaper.
It's got that Spyderco kind of, flipping thing on it.
Yeah. See, I don't like the blades on the 2. I like the blades on the 1. He made one that almost has a karambit-looking blade, big curved.
Well, that's not a. What makes it a Decepticon, though? I mean,
the handle.
The handle.
Because it looks all like technical, and it looks like Megatron kind of. Just kind of look at it. I think that's where they got it. I'm not really 100% sure about that.
Does he have to pay a royalty to the film company?
I have no idea. The first place I ever saw him was on Instagram. Started following him on Sharper by Design was an Instagram, and Jim Skelton on Instagram. He's shown a bunch of them too.
So it's like a stonewash finish on this blade.
Someday.
I'm perfectly. I'd rather have just as a carry knife. I'd rather have my paramilitary, but
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't carry that knife.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to get somebody else's blood all over it.
I wouldn't want to lose it. I went to a movie the other day, and I had my.
If you stick it in somebody and it catches one of their bones and they run away, then
Well, cool.
Chase after them. Give me my knife back.
Far. You cut somebody deep enough with that to get it stuck in a bone, they're probably not going to run that far.
Well, it depends what bone. If you hit them in the arm, they could.
If you hit them deep enough, when you hit an artery, just about if you cut them off that deep.
Well, a lot of people sometimes you don't get to actually hit an artery, But
I was at a theater and my little pocket knife. I can't think of what kind. I can't remember what kind or which one I had that day. Had it hooked on my pocket and everything. Went to get up the movie was over, and I heard this clunk on the floor and looked down in my pocket. Or it'd come right out of my pocket, off the clip, sitting on the floor.
I one time looked down. I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" And it was the blade of my.
That story could have gone lots of ways.
What was it? The Protect Godfather that I have.
Yeah, the one that opened on you and was cutting its way out.
Popped open in my pocket, poked right through the pocket, and poked through my pants. I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Mm-hmm. I had that happen with a one of those gravity blades I had once.
I just want to say hi to. I noticed Brian came in, our retired Marine helicopter mechanic there. So he's got his mic working. Nice saying hello. I guess his mic ain't working yet, or he's eating a sandwich or something. So, anybody gonna buy any more knives now, or except, or Yankee's waiting for somebody to buy him a knife? I know.
Yeah.
And I will do things for it in exchange.
Tell you what, you buy me that Decepticon, I'll buy you that Tonto. And I'll send you
What Decepticon?
You missed the
$800 one.
Decepticon?
Oh.
Decepticon 2 on Blade HQ.
Oh no, the one.
Oh, you want the one? But that's out of
Yeah, it's
stock.
out of stock, but you can find them. I'm sure somebody of Yankees, let's say, skills, can find one of those knives.
That knife's ugly as fuck.
I prefer my paramilitary too, but I mean, yeah, it's some Russian knife designer that flies to Blade Show with the his own jet.
Decepticon because it kind of looks like a piece fell off of
Megatron,
but it's it's uglier folded up than it is open. That's hard to believe.
Yeah. So anyway, if people are out there just watching, when you pick a blade, just check what kind of the steel is. If it's CPM 30 or 35, that's some damn good steel. So, it's very holds an edge, easy to maintain. It doesn't rust up, and you can put it once you get it sharp, it'll probably stay that way.
Well, the Decepticon 1 is prettier than the Decepticon 2. I will have to say that.
it's the blade, I think.
It's the blade and it's the polish, the way they put the polish on parts of the Decepticon 1.
Mm-hmm. The one I really want, like I was saying before, was the one he took to Blade Show. It was all case hardened and anodized, like rainbow red, blues. It was really pretty.
Because the Decepticon 1 has like the highlights of the handle are brushed, and it's not on the Decepticon 2.
Ohio found you a Decepticon, I think. Wait a minute.
Oh, DB found me one once for like $750.
He put a link.
They got to buy me one too. That's not fair.
Knife Center. Here, Knife Center. He linked it in the chat. Knife Center has one for $1,070.
I'll trade it to somebody for another nice knife. I think that's fun.
Oh yeah, they do. But damn. Free shipping. Hot damn.
Well,
That's mighty generous of them. Buy $1,000 knife and
we'll
they'll send it to you for $10.
We'll
Thank you so much.
We'll ship you this 12-ounce item for free. That'll cost like $3 to mail it to you.
7.2 ounce item. Yeah. Congratulations. We will gladly take our cut out of your $10.70 and take that $5 and ship it to you.
So Will is asking about 8 CR13 MOV with black oxide coating. Is the steel any good?
I wish I knew more about steels.
Well, I would just look right on the Blade HQ steel thing. That sounds like a pretty common steel that's used a lot. I'm going to just look at my Blade HQ steel guide, see if it's on there. I mean, I know the steel for my Parang isn't even on there because that's not. It's harder to work with that they used in Malaysia. You have to really know what you're doing to differentially harden it. Let's see. Yeah, well, I was gonna find looking stuff.
Where do you
up.
put the name of that steel at? I already forgot. Oh, there it is. Never mind. That's it. That's a hell of a name.
Well, I mean, it's based on the exact alloy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That steel is what a lot of Kershaw knives use. That's why I'm wondering if it's good. I've had good luck with them.
Here it says this steel is very similar to AUS 8. Is manufactured in China and has about 0.75 carbon content. Was that 14 CR14 or CR13?
13.
13? Okay, let me take it back. This 440 steel with extra cobalt mixed in has, I'd say that's good steel then if that's cobalt mixed in to strengthen the blade, has 0.85 carbon. So with 0.85 carbon, it's 440 steel with extra cobalt mixed in. It's COMOV. Let me look back at that. No, CR. No, it's CR13. That's not C. Is it CO13 or CR?
CR. 8 CR.
8CR. Okay, well then it's not. It's not going to be. Well, it's not the CO MOV. It's okay. Then it's probably chromium and chromium 14. So it's going to be close to OS 8 steel. And so look up OS 8 because it's not actually either of the two things listed on the Blade HQ list. See, the VG10 has vanadium, makes it tough. Let's see. OS 8 steel, so yep, 75%, 0.75 carbon. Cold steel uses that steel. It says it's tough and holds an edge. So basically, there's a lot of two things when it comes to different kinds of steel. It's tough, how tough it is, and how strong it is. And,
flexibility too.
Yeah, and I just noticed on how hard it can hold an edge, how hard it is to keep an edge on there, with a lot of use, is a big thing, at least for me, because I don't want to spend my whole life sharpening knives, and the more you get, the more you wind up doing that, because you want every knife you're going to use to be pop and sharp, and it just takes a long time to work on it, and takes a lot of skill, and it's like a lifetime journey getting better at sharpening knives, It's harder than reloading, if you ask me, but I don't do reloading.
Let's not even start that.
I've done it. I mean, I can understand. I mean, I used to have two big stones. One is like 800 grit, one is 1,000 grit, and I used to sharpen all my knives and swords.
Arkansas stones?
Arkansas stones, yep.
Yeah.
I also use a Japanese, what do you call this, stone that,
water stones?
Water stone, yeah, for flattening.
Yeah, have you tried that Sharp Maker by Spyderco?
No. Picture? Link? Or I can look for it.
They got it on Blade HQ. There's a bunch of videos of them. I know it's a pretty easy to use sharpener, and it's not that expensive.
A Sharp Maker? Is that it?
Yeah. Sharp Maker.
Spyderco. Okay.
Yes.
Stone.
Yeah. You hook different. You basically the two brass things to the side are. If you're looking at the picture on Blade HQ, I'll put it in the. I'll link it in the.
I'll look for it. I'll link it here too for the Amazon one.
Yeah.
Well, look, someone posted a link with that Decepticon for only over $100 instead of 1,000.
Yeah, it's fake.
It's fake. Yeah, fake knives. Yeah.
Fakeknives.com. You get thrown in knife jail for buying that thing.
So yeah, here's a picture of it. Basically, those brass bars are safety, so you don't cut yourself. You just you point angle your knife down and you go right over that. So I mean, it's easier to use than a lot of other systems, and you can also turn the thing over and kind of put them flat on there. Also, so you could kind of use it as a flat stone in a pinch by putting a flat edge down and flipping the thing over, and so you can have them like that. But so basically, you hold the thing down with your hand, and you just have your blade going down along the edge. So it's a pretty easy way to sharpen a knife, and it's pretty effective. So, and those are ceramic rods. So.
I also had a system back then where I would start with, if it's like not very sharp, I start with 4, 6, 8, 1,000, 2,000. If it's nice and already sharp, and I'm just increasing the edge or maintaining the edge, it's like 8, 1,000, 2,000. Wet sandpaper.
What's hard is keeping the angle, just right. Because you can wind up, but you can wind up sharpening a blade and having the edges look all perfect, but if you don't get the angle right, then it won't be sharp. So
Well, I just do this avoid rolling, and then when I keep it flat on something and I just slide it through, fine. If I avoid rolling it, perfect. So
have you gotten it to the point where you can cut like telephone book paper easily, on
Yeah.
any blade?
Yeah.
That's impressive. It's not easy to do.
My katanas from Wakishashis do that all the time.
Yeah, well, anyway, I wish Huck was here because he's a perfect guy who could ask knife questions too. But
yeah.
so you missed all the knife stuff earlier. What kind of knives or do you have, and what do you?
Well, my main knife that I carry with me is a Kershaw Brawler. My
You
best.
got the Kershaw Brawler too?
Yep, Kershaw Brawler is
just
my
bought that.
best.
Yeah, I
my
just
best.
bought that.
You cannot dull that. I can't dull that. That shaped blade is still sharp. I hardly ever try to.
Yeah, that's the steel I posted over there in the side chat. That it's made out of. I'm loving that knife.
For self-defense, I use this guy.
The karambits. Which one? Which karambits you get?
It's just a generic one that I got from a knife store.
Yep, karambits are if you're being attacked, those close quarters. That's the way to go.
My teacher trains me how to use these things too. So my martial arts teacher. So.
You have a Cali teacher?
Yep, I have a Escrima teacher. Yep.
All right. I wish we
Saturday.
had those guys out here. That's great, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like I have a practice one in my gym bag, but yeah, it's like teach me how to do this, and then basically tap. It's like this, and you tap the arm, and then scroll up how to block this way, and then scrape the arm, something like that. Yeah.
You have practice knives for that, I hope.
I have a practice knife. No, we're not allowed to have live blades. No, I have a practice one that's made out of plastic. I bought off of eBay.
This will be your final class, live blade.
Yeah, no, that's the final classes are taught in Stockton, California, and they don't even teach live blades. I don't know what live blades. They just teach how to kill.
Yeah, well, that's like I was saying earlier. That's the easiest thing to learn how to do with a knife. It's getting away from a fight and surviving it without having to kill anyone. That takes skill. So.
If you get them in the arm, that's pretty much ends most of the fight right there. Especially if they're unarmed or not unarmed, like armed with a knife. If you get them right here, that could end the fight right there. Depending on because any cuts right here, if they get more aggressive, they'll just bleed faster.
Well, yeah, but you can't. If you don't get their legs, then they can't. They can still chase you, and then they might have some other weapon, or So
they'll pass out a lot faster if they get angry. The trick to knife fighting, as I was taught, is to be relaxed. Because if you get
that
tense,
works in pretty much every fighting kind of fighting.
Well, that's the thing too, because if you're tense, if you get cut, you bleed faster.
Well, if you're relaxed, you just let the other guy make the mistake.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you're relaxed, you don't bleed faster, basically. But yeah, my Kershaw Brawler. I have a couple more other blades out and about somewhere in bags that I use for utility. So,
is that what that's called? A Kershaw Brawler? That just looks like a generic karambit? Or
No. This is not a Kershaw Brawler. No, this is just karambit. The Kershaw Brawler is downstairs in my vest, but the Kershaw Brawler is the Tanto style short knife from Kershaw. Yeah. It's a very, very good knife.
Well, but that's not like any steel to write home about, though, right? I mean,
Which one?
The Kershaw. I mean,
where was
that steel you were just looking up, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the same steel I posted in the side chat.
Oh, all right. So basically, OS 8.75 steel.
I like that knife. I think they retail for $50, but I got mine for $20 at Big Five, and for $20 you can't beat it. You really can't.
Well, yeah. Well, the $20 you can do a lot with a $20 blade. I mean, it's the skill of the person behind it. But they're just harder to keep sharp. The less expensive the steel is. But This was, I think, do I still have it up? This is the Tonto I got a couple weeks ago. This one. SWAT Spike, that's 1095 steel. So, anyway.
I need to learn more about steels. I don't know anything about them other than stainless and carbon. That's about it.
Well, you just do a little bit of research. There's Blade HQ has a link. I think I'll put it up. They don't. It doesn't cover everything, and obviously, but it's just a little web page that they have on steels. It didn't have the specific steel listed, but I mean, there's all kinds of forms, but you can just go crazy researching it. So here's. I have too many links up.
This is what Huck made redressed for me actually. So old Tonto had a broken handle, so I had him fix the handle and everything, fix the sheath bit, and so it's actually a broken katana that was remade.
I'll put the link in the side chat for the Blade HQ steel types. Yeah, that looks cool. Quick, can you? Did you see that forged in steel this weekend on I think on cable, like History or
No.
Geo? Yeah, it had Doug Marcada on there and 2 other judges, and they basically had 4.
Oh, I need to find that. Doggone it.
Yeah, I watched the first part of it, then I kind of fell asleep, and I woke up for the end. At the end, they shot like a bullet at like 2 katanas head on, and they had a high-speed camera, and they showed the bullets splitting into multiple pieces as they hit the blade.
Is that Gerber?
What?
Is that Gerber over there?
Yeah,
Ryan.
This is my EDC. This one looks kind of rough because it's my everyday carry. I carry this on me everywhere I go. It's a good little fighting knife. It's not too thick. It's fairly lightweight. Easy to carry. As you can see, the handle's wearing out right there. This is my wilderness knife I take with me and I go out when I go camping and stuff, because it's got the spot there to, it's got the 90-degree back strap for starting fires. So you can do a lot of stuff with this. It's pretty good at batoning too.
I call those the Bear Grylls specials.
Yeah, that's what they are. And this is my fighting knife. This will be my combat or go to war knife. It's just a cheap Smith & Wesson. It cost maybe $50.
Mm-hmm.
But it's thin, it's long blade, it's lightweight, easy, very fast to move, and can really tear an opponent up if it can just easily tear up an opponent if necessary. But next to the K-bar, because I'm used to because I trained with it, this would be the knife I would carry. If I had a K-bar, I would show you a K-bar, but I do not have a K-bar. But I like the Beckers too, which are owned by K-bar or vice versa. Yeah, those are my knives. Three of my knives.
Talking about it. I got crazy. You can go crazy buying knives. I had to stop for like 5 or 6 months buying knives off of the internet because I went, it's like, okay, I definitely need this, but I also need that. And wait a minute, that's cool. And, since they don't cost as much as guns and you don't have to have a permit, there's no waiting period. But this is
I have a place here that I buy. Yeah, I have a place here that I buy. What do we call this? I buy knives at in a mall. It's not they're no name blades, but they're still good. So for those like that, you got Prang. I have a bolo that I got off the web. I want to get like one from made in the Philippines.
Yeah, this is from Malaysia. Are you? Yeah, I know you're from the Philippines. Do you like a lot of the Filipino knives because there's so many
Bolo?
of them.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I love my the knives from there. The bolos especially. I mean, they're like
There's a
um,
huge variety depending on what part of the
what
island,
part of the
because
country
each
you're at?
section had had a different culture and a different kind of knife in every part of the country. But yeah, so this parang, what I was saying earlier, is this is 5190 steel, and it's differentially hardened on the edge. So,
Hold on,
I
I'm
got a
gonna.
parade. I got a parade, and I also got the Kukuri machete. They're both, my machetes. They're packed away. I got some folders and stuff, but they're also packed away in my bags for like camping, hiking, or my to-go bag, get home bag, whatever. But yeah, these are the only three knives I have out at this time that I don't have to unpack pack everything to get to.
What the hell? Come on.
Sorry I'm late. I was visiting family, and I didn't think you'd still be on. Actually, I thought you guys would be into after chat by now.
yeah, last week the after chat was better than the actual chat was. I think for some reason. When the chat was like an hour and 10 minutes, and the after chat was like 3 hours.
Yeah. I just got here. What do they call this? I just got here. I just finished my my Unit 1 exam for Network Plus. So I got as soon as I passed that, I just came over. Let's see.
Gun channels time.
Let's see. Weapons. Here's a web page. Here's a web page for if you want to get Filipino weapons. They got very variety. They changed the website a lot. There's some Chinese in there too, but a lot of they're venturing out. This company's venturing out to different ones. Um, their average price is $230 per per weapon, and they got different categories. Again, yeah, different. The Muslims in the South actually have the most ornate blades. They have ones that look like they crisscross, stuff like that. Those are like very. But I like the ones that curve down, and it's got the handles curve, so it's when you chop, it has a good impact on it.
So basically, in Philippine history, if I'm not mistaken, the Spanish Navy, the galleons, used Philippine fighters on their boats.
Some of them
correct?
did.
Yeah.
Some of them did. Here's the knife list. Here you go.
Yeah, I have that paged, I think, on my knife subcategory on my insanely organized bookmarks that don't make any sense. But yeah, that's in my knives category.
That's when I train with blades. I usually when I train with Escrima, yeah, we practice. We use sticks, but that's as our analog for bolos. There are some arts that specifically use like a stick as a stick. When you're fighting, they're using the stick as a stick. I've decided I want to get an art that is more blade and sword centric than stick centric.
I don't know. I like that sticks are light. They're easy to carry, and you can angle them when you're trying to attack with them because, I think I talked to you about that before once about, you can angle your attach with a stick in with a blade. You just have to hit only with the edge. So, but it depends if you're fighting someone that knows how to fight or not.
Good quarterstaff is always a pretty nice thing to have along too.
Yeah, but Escrima sticks aren't really big. You throw them in,
They're 24 to 30 inches long.
Yeah, I know.
No, I'm just saying, as comparing. There you go.
I'm just saying, if we're talking melee weapons, are we talking all melee weapons or just bladed weapons or?
Yeah, go ahead. Escrima sticks are fine.
Oh, okay, because like I trained on the quarterstaff when I did martial arts. I did. I also studied some sword play. I'm not all that good, but put a boken in my hand and I can crack somebody's skull with it pretty good. And then, and for those who don't know, a boken is a wooden training sword, but it's also an art form too in and of itself. It's another weapon, another melee weapon technique. I also have a straight stick baton and an asp, which is an expandable straight baton. I prefer the straight batons to the PR-24s for some things, but I like PR-24s for others. I can get a pair of PR-24s and use them like tonfa, which is a Korean weapon they used to use for beating rice off the stalks, but they implemented it as a weapon when they fought the Japanese. So, in fact, most of the weapons the Koreans used were weapons used by farmers, because the majority of the people fighting were farmers. But
Yeah.
Did you ever see Dan Inosanto's demonstration at the Smithsonian of the just the cloth? What's it called? The Filipino. It's just a dress thing that it's really cool because you don't know that it's a weapon, but there's a technique. They use it for everything. What are those cloths?
I have no idea. I'm not trained under that particular the cloth thing.
No, it's the girls that use girls use them, to wrap around their bikinis sometimes,
Sarong?
Yes, sarongs.
Yep.
Sarongs. Yeah, he showed how to use that as a weapon.
Vision blocker.
Not in my school yet. Dan Inosanto actually
What's this?
Didn't yo-yos come from the Philippines too? As a weapon? Weren't they originally a weapon, a yo-yo?
Somewhere. I forgot. I don't know. I forgot if it was the Philippines or not. But all the ones I've linked down there, those are my my preferred style blades right there.
Yeah, what was really interesting about his sarong demonstration at the Smithsonian was that, it doesn't look like a weapon, you just wear it, and then before you know it, you're just choked out.
That's like they used to do when UFC first started. There was guys who used to wear full gis in there, and they would use those sleeves and just choke people out instantly.
All right.
Much more let
me mute Brian. It's Brian.
My bad. I had gas.
They had gas. It's that deadly Atlanta gas. But yeah, eventually they made guys quit wearing their gis because it gave them such an advantage when they were choking people, because they could get tons of leverage. So it's probably
just wrap it
the
around
same principle.
and choke them out.
You get your arm under their neck, and then you grab your sleeve and just start wrapping your
and
sleeve
it doesn't
around
look
your
like a weapon. When you look for a weapon, you look for a knife, you look for a gun, you look for a sword, you look for a stick. If they're just wearing it, I mean, it's traditional Filipino clothing. And when they ban everything else, if you live in New York, get a fucking sarong and learn how to use it, because everything else has been banned. They're like, you're wearing a shirt, give it to me.
See, the Philippines is an example of how weapon control, not just gun control, weapon control doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were not, when the Spanish took over, we were not allowed to have
anything
like bladed weapons.
Yeah.
So we took sticks, just used those, practiced with those, and basically practiced on how to defeat rapiers and Spanish weaponry, Spanish fencing style weaponry, with not just with a stick, but if you can substitute that stick with the with a blade later on, when we can pick up we can pick up a blade that's hidden. Then that's how it is. We were not allowed to practice our martial arts for a long time, but we pretended they were dancing, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so that's
China,
how we were.
Pretend you're dancing and stab people with chopsticks.
In China, they had, there's so many weird kung fu weapons because they needed to be disguised as farming implements because it was the same thing. The dynasty said only the soldiers could have, military could have weapons and nobody else could. So all those crazy kung fu weapons came from, they were disguised as farming implements. Yeah, and so that's why they have so many insane-looking weapons, all because of weapon control.
Mm-hmm.
Laws that are passed.
So weapon control in the United States, it needs to learn that in the U.S., that's not going to work.
When they ban everything, just get you a pair of titanium chopsticks. Just start stabbing people.
They actually have sold those on Blade HQ, but I think
there's some really fancy ones too. I saw a titanium straw that I want to buy.
No, do not buy that straw. That is the dumbest straw. I mean, if you buy that straw, you're going to break your teeth if you actually use it as a straw. You
don't care.
Go down too far. You don't care?
Well, I don't plan on chewing on it.
You don't. Well, it'll happen by accident. You'll crack your teeth for sure with that thing.
You're going to just go put it into your mouth, and it's going to just hit one of your teeth, and it's so hard, just pop.
Mm-hmm. You won't even know.
I won't use it all the time. I'll use it for when I'm
It only takes once. You do not want to use that. I saw that same email from that company. I was like, nope. I looked at, wow, that looks cool. Then I thought about it for 10 seconds and said, that's the dumbest thing I ever saw.
Did they have the one that was all anodized? You get like 12 different kinds of anodized?
It was stuck in an orange. It was this titanium straw stuck in an orange. I was like, oh, wow, that looks cool. And then 10 seconds later, I was like, nope. Did it think about this.
Yeah, the one I saw, they were sticking it in a coconut.
I didn't see the coconut.
It sounds like it could be an interesting.
On one end.
Yeah, it sounds like it could be an interesting survival tool, but I wouldn't, have it for everyday use.
Yeah, for when you're stuck on them islands with all the coconuts.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it had like an angled tip.
That's what my machete's for. I could chop coconuts. I want with
You're never gonna get a machete through TSA. You might get a straw through TSA.
Actually, you might. They got a 95% failure ratio, so
they probably sneak an A-bomb past them chubby bastards. But what's this? It's ticking.
You know what?
It's just an alarm clock.
What's funny is I almost got a job as a TSA right after I got out of the Army. I don't know why they didn't call me. No, here's what happened. I passed the test, but their entrance test, and that's
why they didn't call you back. You passed.
So I passed the entrance test, right? And then I and they said I waited for the acceptance, but they said I'm sorry, we had to cut hiring right now because we got enough people. And then they started hiring again, but they didn't call me, and it was too late. It's like no, so we can't. We passed the test, but we changed it. So. So they screw it then. Every time I try to get into law enforcement, I couldn't get in for some reason. It's not because I failed anything either.
Mm-hmm.
They found out you were on gun channels.
This was back in 2008. Oh no, not even that. 2006. This was 2005, 2006 when I just got out of the Army. I didn't even own a gun at the time.
You weren't a radical internet gun expert by then?
No, I didn't even own a gun. I almost owned a gun because my parents just, for a bit tried to retire to the Philippines, and they gave me their Ruger P85, and then silver plated and like what they call it, stainless steel too. And then but my dad came back and says he wanted it back. And then when I asked him for it again, hey, you guys didn't? Nope, we sold it. It's like, son of a bitch.
So, DB, have you contained that gas that you had?
Yep, finally.
Good. Thank you.
Too many beans, man. I farted on my SOE Strider.
No, you didn't buy one of those.
Of course I did, dude. What
That's not it, though. That ain't it. That's not it. That's a Strider, but that ain't an SOE Strider.
I'm not fucking stupid.
I almost
bought one.
No shit. I wish I would have.
Yeah, because they doubled in value, like right away.
Oh yeah, sure they did. They haven't even shipped, and they're already worth $1,000. That fixed blade.
Yeah,
looks
I
cool.
saw that shit, and it looks. Look, I love Strider or whatever, but it looked like some cheap ass fucking rattle can paint.
Yeah, that's why I didn't buy one. It just didn't look like a full-fledged Strider.
Tacky. Like if anything, it would have been a jet, all black Cerakote, everything, and
With
then
red
some red, yeah, with a
mill.
red pivot, some red accents.
The scales should have been black. And they should have had SOE cut, like milled into them, and the liner should have been red, and it would have shown through to the
It
liner.
would have been
for
cool
SOE.
as shit, yeah.
That would have been really good.
But if I see the guy, I'm gonna be like, oh, they're cool as shit. If I ever meet John Willis.
Yeah, John Willis, that's cool as shit, but
yeah,
I guess
that knife is cool, bro. It's nice.
Yeah, that's why their fixed blade looks way cooler, I thought.
Oh, I didn't even see a picture of that.
You didn't see that fixed blade? Holy shit.
This is a knife chat, right?
Yeah, it's knife chat.
Oh,
that's
cool.
why I feel comfortable talking about SOE, because it's knife.
Yeah. This is my new EDC. Is I don't know if you guys can see it, man, but it's
This is the
badass.
Lock and Load I Hate Knives chat.
It's a it's a corkscrew, and then it's a beer opener, and then it has a blade on it. It's like my new EDC.
You have a beer opener on your EDC?
Yeah, this is all I carry now.
Is that
It's
so you
not
can open up
one-handed
that
opening.
can of whoop ass before you stab them?
I mean, I think if you're like into one-handed opening knives, you're living in a tactical fantasy world. And there's nothing wrong with the thumbnail opening. Then I have the corkscrew if I'm gonna have a picnic, or if I'm gonna I could use this as a zombie weapon.
Or an eyeball plucker.
There you go. That's my new EDC.
Hey, have you guys watched that Forged in Fire show? I'm watching it right now, and man, they're making stuff out of crazy items, just crazy stuff.
Yeah.
What's the name of their knife company? Like the real name?
It's not. It's a reality show. It's not a company.
No, but every reality show, like the gun show, Sons of Guns was called. Sons of Guns was what was that company called?
Red Jacket.
Yeah, exactly. They all have
competition.
Yeah,
it's
Forged in competition. Yeah.
It's a competition reality show thing. Yeah, they get.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was originally taught to make a knife out of is a leaf spring from a car. That spring metal from a leaf spring from a car. Those make really good knives.
There we go,
D2
coming through. Shit.
No, I'm on my phone, but my bad because
you can't see the screen.
I thought
can't see the
I thought the
Yeah, I'm gonna screen share this. There we go.
Oh, no, I see it. I was gonna say I thought they were gonna do like a Sons of Guns, but for a knife company.
Yeah.
It was like a small.
It should
knife
be coming
company.
through.
Sons of Knives.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, if it's coming through, that's it.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
I have something like that, except it's a cheap $5 Chinese knockoff that I bought like 20 years ago.
And I have no clue what those are.
He's like, I have no clue.
And everything drops out. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to put my.
Have you guys ever used a spring steel on a knife, or owned a knife with spring steel?
Yeah, I have a Huck Ghost Town Customs knife that's made of spring steel. It's like a truck spring steel or something.
It's D2.
It's awesome, dude. It's fucking sharp as shit. It's not D2,
that's what I'm saying. I've never had a sharper knife.
It's sharp as shit. Well, he did a convex or a zero grind where there's no bevel. It's just like the edge comes down from the top of the blade all the way down to the tip, like the edge. There's no like secondary bevel on the edge or whatever. So it's like a samurai sword. It's fucking sweet. Yeah, but I don't know. It might be like D2. I think D2 is. People talk about D2 like it's not. It's not stainless steel, but it won't rust by just looking at it. I don't know what spring steel is made of. I doubt it's D2 because D2 is like a really fine tool steel that's pretty expensive.
Well, old cars are made of different than different steel than new cars parts. So it depends how old the car was that they got.
Old
steel.
trucks, old Chevy trucks.
Yeah, Huck might. If we had Huck in here, he might know. Huck might know what the actual steel name is called.
I hate my phone.
Well, I'm gonna try and get some knife crafters in here. I just felt like doing an I Hate Knives gun chat because we did an I Hate there's an I Hate Guns chat that I guess G-Webs does sometimes. So figured I'd do one of these and see how it goes. But yeah, Huck hasn't been on much, so.
I just talked to him the other day, but I haven't seen him in a video for a while.
Yeah.
In chat, I mean.
I'll send him a message sometime, maybe if I do another one of these next week, or I go back to Guns next week.
Tell him to man up, man. You know.
Well, I got some caltrops from him that are pretty cool, but I haven't been planning on doing any videos with him.
I sold a lot of my knives, unfortunately. But in order to buy a knife I was lusting after, that was very expensive, so I dumped a lot of knives and bought one knife with that money. But I enjoy my Strider.
Yeah, what are those $400 knives, those Striders?
Yeah, but what's cool about it, like I've had Spydercos a lot. I had a couple of Cold Steels. I had a lot of Benchmates and stuff. They all have great warranties, but there's nothing like a Strider. I could stick this I could break this knife in half, like the blade part. I could stick it in a vise and break it in half and send it to them, and they send you a new knife.
Might take them a month or two.
Yeah, it might take them 6 months, but they're going to send you. They guarantee you a working knife no matter what. Like if you break the tip off. But I've had, Spyderco has great warranty and shit, but like, forget it. If you break that knife, like there's no warranty for that. So.
Well, I'm so happy with my Spyderco Paramilitary 2. I just can't imagine a better carrying knife than it.
I honestly do not think there could be. I have that too, and although it's definitely, it can't get much better than that, and it probably won't. But I think what will happen is they might update the military. You know what the military is, right? It's like the big brother to that knife. If they update that to the compression lock, that'll be cool. Like, I really like that Spyderco compression lock on the Paramount.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm a fan of compression locks or not, but
I like them because you can open it one-handed, of course, and then you can kind of close it one-handed real quick with the back. It's like a line or lock in reverse. You can just hit that little tab and swing your wrist, and it'll close. Sort of like
whatever. But
plus, if you go on, Spyderco has a forum too, like a little forum you can go on and talk to the owners and the designers.
I don't think I can handle any more forums. But the designers are on there. They must get a lot of.
No, he's on Blade forums too. He's active. Like he's very active. And Spyderco is one of the companies that listens to the fans and shit, the users on the forums. And
that's why they have so many knives that aren't as good as the Paramilitary too. They have so many different things they tried.
Well, no, I mean they had a paramilitary. You probably didn't know that, but they had a paramilitary, obviously. And that 2 years later they came out with the Paramilitary too because they listened to the customers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they also have a ton of models that I don't know don't do anything for me. So
yeah, that's true. They're classics.
Did you read the internal there, Hawaii?
All right, so you want me to go in there and ban him or something?
No, I just wanted to know so you could go look at it.
I'm gonna go to his house.
Somebody go over to his house and beat him up for me, okay?
Go get him, DB.
I'll be right back.
I don't know. I only have a laptop. If I go out and I try and open another video stream, I think I'll just crash everything. That I tried doing that one time, and that's why I don't get to talk to people in the chat. So
I just wanted to put it over there.
Oh, what a lovely day.
Anyway.
Do you guys know anything about the Taylor brand knives who make Schrade and Henry and Oldtimer, Smith & Wesson, all those? Do they have a lifetime warranty on those knives?
No, I don't know.
Smith & Wesson?
I would stay away from Smith & Wesson. And then I thought Schrade went out of business.
Schrade? No.
Apparently Taylor Brands makes all of them. The Oldtimer, Schrade, Smith & Wesson. And I actually have a Smith & Wesson Special Operations with a broken tip on it. So I was wondering about their warranty.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has it. Once you break a tip on a knife, they don't do anything for you, because that's user induced. You know what I mean?
Well, I had a Gerber Mark II. It was made in like the 70s, and or no, early 80s. Sent it back to them. They sent me a brand new one and the old one back.
Are you kidding?
No, it
That's pretty cool.
was like
No, I
10
don't
years,
know.
like 15 years ago.
You could try them. I mean, just contact Smith & Wesson. I don't even think, I wouldn't even know who to contact. Those are all like made in China fucking junk, man. Not that all made in China shit is junk, but
Send your knife to Wang Duck Toe.
yeah, you call Smith & Wesson, they'll be like, we don't make those fucking knives, boy. Yeah, what the fuck are
That's
you
made by a
talking about?
10-year-old in Taiwan.
Yeah, that they licensed the name Smith & Wesson and Schrade. I don't know. I thought Schrade went out of business because that guy Medford Knife, he was doing a video where he's being sued by the guy who bought the company because they went out of business.
Wanted
He just
over a
had
lock or something?
No, it was over the name Viper.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
And he's like, I can't call this fucking knife a Viper anymore because he's like the bastard who just bought Schrade. Fucking a prick. The next day was Blade Show, and they were fucking right there, dude.
Well,
I don't know. I don't think. I mean, they'll sharpen it. I chipped a Spyderco once. I sent it back to them, and they sent it back to me, reprofiled the edge, and tried to fix it. You know, it was good enough.
if you just want to reprofile it, there's probably, if you look up a knife shop or something, wherever you live, there's probably a place there that can reprofile a blade.
Yeah. Depends.
Oh, there's one thing on Smith & Wesson. The Smith & Wesson blade I got says right, made in the USA, right on the blade.
The Smith & Wesson you got says made in the USA.
Yeah.
I can't even shocked.
Here, let me show it to you quick.
That's awesome.
I don't know if you'll be able to see it right away here. I mean, man, damn it. Let's see. I don't know if it'll focus. I got a crappy camera, so.
Yeah, oh, it's a fixed blade. Oh yeah. Maybe. Okay, yeah, that's cool. I trust you. I was thinking about the folders.
Yeah, those folders are crap.
Yeah. I never even seen the fixed blade one.
I've had this for about 15 years. It's $50 knife or something like that. It's my combat knife. It's my if I gotta go to war knife. It's a nice little knife.
That's cool. Yeah, I never even saw that.
For woodcraft, but you know, hey.
They might actually make that shit. Call them, call them and see what's up.
Yeah, this one might actually, because it's got the Smith & well, they all have the Smith & Wesson logo on them, but it's got the copyright.
Yeah, I was talking about this garbage over here.
Where you at?
I was talking about this kind of shit.
Oh, that crap?
It's designed for a fucking alien robot.
Copyright on it?
Well, that says M&P, but like, look at some of these ugly ass fucking knives, dude. What the fuck is this? Like, is that designed for a hand or a fucking robot claw?
Yeah, no doubt. No, it's they make those to sell to places like Walmart and Big Five.
Yeah. Oh, look. Well, this says Taiwan, which is good. Taiwan makes a lot of cool knives and good quality stuff. But damn, $47 for this fucking other piece of shit.
Screw that. I'll go if I'm going to spend that kind of money. I'm going cold steel.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, especially for a folder because I like their new tri-lock system. It's way stronger, way more dependable.
Yep.
But
strongest one of the strongest locks, if not the strongest folding lock ever.
That is why I carry this little fixed blade right here. You probably didn't see earlier.
Have you seen the Blade HQ videos where they take like a whole bunch of weights and they put the knife in a vise and see how many pounds it takes for the lock to break?
Oh yeah.
It's cool as shit, right? I love those videos.
Cold Steel puts out ones comparing them against Spyderco's. The Spyderco's always break about halfway through what they say the Cold Steels can take. And the
Yeah.
Cold Steels hold up.
Yeah, they definitely, that lock is something.
And
That's for sure.
And for me, if I buy Cold Steel, I'm supporting a local company because they're in California with me.
Yeah.
I don't think he needs my support.
He's doing pretty good.
Yeah. In fact, I could probably use some of his support.
Cold
I saw
Steel.
him at Blade Show. He's a funny dude.
I see him here during. I see their whole gang over here during gun shows.
Oh yeah, they got a big place down in Arizona too.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's Phoenix. I'm pretty sure it's just outside of Phoenix.
I used to watch a lot of their videos back during the day when they were when start doing swords.
Oh yeah.
And their machete lineup is awesome. They have
Oh
a,
yeah.
Oh my god. All I wanted when I was a kid was a goddamn Tanto, Cold Steel Tanto, fixed blade, but it was like 5-inch blade or whatever the fuck it was.
Mm-hmm.
Never bought
The
one.
Master Tattoo.
No, not even. I wanted the cheap one, like whatever the cheap one was.
Oh, the Tanto Light or the SRK.
Yeah, like a Tanto Light.
It's
the cheap one,
the
yeah.
Cold Steel. Oh man, I want to call it the SRK, but it's not the SRK because the SRK is a drop point. But there's one just. It's like it's twin, but a Tanto. Yeah.
I want to say I was like fucking 10 years old. So, a long time.
I didn't even know Cold Steel had been around that long.
Yeah, they've been around a long time.
Around. I know of them at the late 80s.
Yeah, I would say late 80s was when I first I saw them in, like you said, like in martial arts magazines and like Soldier of Fortune and shit like that. It would always be like a full page ad of like one of those Tantos going through a refrigerator, going through a car door, like little still photos of it, you know, had weights on it, you know, full tank construction and all that stuff.
I've got DVDs right here from their last set because I get their catalog and their DVDs as long as I'm also on their mailing list. I just love to watch them cut through things like pig skulls and chop pigs in half with one swing. And it's pretty cool stuff. Yeah, and they also like to penetrate. They like to stab steel for some reason.
Yeah, I'll do it. You guys got any quality knives? And you want to have them like retarded sharp, like just wicked, like most ridiculous sharpness ever? You call up Wicked Edge. This is a company that makes this like professional knife sharpening system. That's like $500. Mm-hmm. And you tell them like you're interested. You'd like to have your knife sharpened, and you send your knife to them, and you give them like $5, and you know it's pretty reasonable. And then they send it back to you, and it's ridiculous, dude. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, that thing will sharpen paper to little cut shit.
Yeah, I sold my Spyderco's that I did it, but yeah, he sent them back, and it was like they're totally mirror polished, like sickest.
Well, polishing the edge is a pretty easy thing to do with stones, but you know, getting the angle right isn't always.
Yeah, that's
hard
what's
part
awesome
for me.
Yeah, have you seen that system? Because you can't get the angle wrong.
Yeah, but it's
like you
too
set
expensive.
the angle.
You can cut your fingers off with it if you're not careful. But
buy one for
too
using
expensive.
Yeah, they're $400.
They're
more than that for the pro system.
Yeah, they're meant to be bought, and then you take it to a gun show every weekend and sharpen knives for $5 a piece, or $10 a piece.
That's what they're for. When I went to the show, they had 2 of them doing demos, and the one dude was like flop sweating, and it looked like it's 8 hours in a day or whatever. He's fucked, dude. He was so. I was like, yo, can you can you sharpen my knife? And he was like, oh man, can you give me a break? Like, can you give me like a 5-minute break? And he's like sweating and drinking water and shit. And these punks come over and they're like, hey, can you sharpen my knife? Like right in front of me. And his boss was there at that point, and he was like, yeah, sure, no problem. Like, I was like, oh shit, I'm not waiting in this line again. Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think you'd want to do that at a gun show for $5 a pop because
I mean,
was
it'll
taking
wear down
probably
the strops, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
doing it. I mean,
they're
I think-
expensive.
I think there was a guy. Well, I don't know if it was $5, but I'm pretty sure there was a guy at the last one I was at around here. Well, one of the big gun shows. I'm pretty sure there was a guy there doing it.
I don't think
Yeah.
there's anybody on the big island of Hawaii that has a wicked edge. You know,
Better buy one.
Oh yeah.
I'll
Well,
make
yeah,
do
you can
with
ship,
like a
so.
I'll make do the spider go sharp.
If you guys aren't subscribed to if you're really into knives and shit, the Apostle P, that's his YouTube channel. He does a lot of knife reviews, like old school, you know, nothing fancy style, not 20, 30 minutes. They're like 5-minute reviews, 10-minute reviews, and then he's got some long ones. He's a professional sharpener, but he uses the Edge Pro, and like, you know, you send him your knife. I think he owns a car dealership. This is like literally his hobby, but he charges like $20-something to sharpen your knife, and that's more like it because you're going to spend about a half hour like doing that shit, man. That guy he says he averages about 25 minutes, 30 minutes per knife, and it's a pain in the butt. He has to take the knife apart when he's done and get all that dust, the metal dust out, and put it back together, lube it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the Apostle P is, I seriously think about sending my knives to him all the time because his edges are sick. He shows you in the videos.
Is that a
There's a few
YouTube
guys
channel?
on YouTube. Yeah, he's on Instagram too. He's got a lot of cool knives, but he gets a lot of cool knives from customers that send him knives for sharpening. Like he'll get really expensive, cool shit you'll never see, and he'll sharpen them and do a video, and then send them back. The Apostle P, it's all one word.
I found it. Cool.
Yeah, he's awesome. Who else was cool? That was doing the sharpening online. Like, I mean,
It's like the knife I just bought, that Boker Huaycan.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that thing, it's got that ball bearing, bearings in it. And dude, I watched somebody take one of them things apart, and there's like 20 little tiny ball bearings on each side of that blade. I wouldn't want.
Aren't they caged?
The new ones are. The original ones aren't. So I think my two are captive. But the original ones, you take it apart and they just fall out.
Yeah.
Another guy I watch is Prepper Minded 101, Chris Tanner. I like his videos. He does a pretty thorough job, and then they have this thing where you can link and join it, and they do a thing called the grinder where they get something, and then like he'll do it and pass it on to somebody else, and they'll do a review on it, and then you can get all their, because they all hit different aspects of like wilderness use, survival, combat, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I've seen him before. I've seen that grinder thing. I think what's his name might have actually got a knife from them, or maybe I watch a lot of these knife leads. But those bearing system guns, those knives that have the bearings, they're awesome for flippers. But I don't see the point if they're not a flipper. Like
that's what these are. I can't think of what that system's actually called.
Prepper Mind 101. That's some cool shit. Subscribe to Blade HQ. They got cool videos sometimes.
Where's this guy say what he charges to do knives? You said you can like mail stuff to him to sharpen?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think as soon as you go to his YouTube page and then you hit like the more info, usually it'll be like, "Hi, I'm Joe. I'm a dickhead," like that type of shit. Like
here's a quick look, blah blah blah, but it doesn't have like a website or a Facebook or anything.
No, he's got his email there, like Rob Bixby at Gmail, and it has the prices and this. I don't think he has a PO box there. I think he might.
Maybe in the about page.
Yeah, in the about. Yep. But unless you have some sort of crazy steel, like it's pretty affordable for what he does. I mean, I've seen his videos where he does it, like he'll sharpen an entire knife from start to finish and clean it and all that stuff.
Yeah, I was just watching one of those.
You definitely wouldn't want to do that for $5. You'd be like, get the fuck out.
There's his Facebook page. I bet I can figure it out there. Let's like this guy.
Yeah. I want to send my... That's the other thing. It's like, when you do that, you want to make sure they put an edge on it that you can maintain with a stone. Like I have the Spyderco Sharp Maker stones that are, you put them in a V and you've got the hand guards and all that stuff. And I recommend that.
I think that's what Hawaii just showed a little bit ago.
Yeah, those, I've had one of those since like 1998. Those things are fucking badass. They always work. But you know, you send your knife out to like Apostle P, he's going to give you that polished mirror edge, and you're going to want to maintain it with the Spyderco, like something like that.
Well, the edges aren't hard to do with Arkansas stones. I mean, the polished right up to the get. The hard part is keeping the edge right.
Exactly,
you know,
the angles.
The angle right, but just polishing it right up to the edge, that's easy. You know.
Yeah, it's all about the angles.
It's all about the angle of the dangle.
Yeah.
All kinds of angles, and you got to have the right ones.
He'll do two, like, you know, he'll broaden the edge. Like right now, this Strider's got the fucking smallest bevel, like it's the tiniest little edge, you know. Yeah, if I sent it to him, I know, because he's got the same knife. He's gonna put a broad, fucking wicked little polished edge on it.
You know, speaking
like
of
30, 40 degrees.
Speaking of angles, I was watching just C-SPAN book channel or whatever, and they had. It was interesting that at the start of World War II, they didn't know the exact right. This is just a quick Navy thing. There's this girl that wrote a book on the Marines and invading all the islands and on the Navy, but it wasn't until like about 2/3 of the way, or I don't know, half the way through World War II, that the Navy figured out the exact right angle of bombardment to bombard naval. Because before, at the start, they would just shoot right at the shore emplacements, but you have to shoot them at a certain angle for it to be effective. So they took them a while to figure out to get the right angle. So I forgot it. This naval historian was talking about a book she wrote, and I like watching the book channel too. Sometimes they have all kinds of cool stuff on there, and they were talking about different, Pacific battles. But anyway, back to knives. Since you guys started talking about angles, it got me into the angle. You have the right angle of shore to shoot down at the shore emplacements. You can't just shoot at them. So, anyway, sorry.
Like I used to. So when I sent my knife, there's another guy on YouTube, Jay Davis. You can subscribe to him. I mean, there's so many cool dudes that used to do the sharpening. I sent a knife to Jay Davis before, and it came back wicked sharp, but not like wicked edge. Like when I sent my knife to that guy, Clay Allison or whatever his name is.
So why don't you buy a wicked edge if you're all?
Oh, $400. I mean, plus only right now I have 3 blades like that. I guess it might pay. It'll never like pay for itself. You know what I mean? I'm pretty good with my Spyderco Edge Sharp Maker, that I can maintain an edge that the knife company sells you the knife with. Like I can kind of keep that sharp and keep that going. But once I get one of those crazy mirror polished ones, I'll fuck that up pretty good on the Sharp Maker. You know what I mean? It's not as precise. Those Edge Pros and the
basically you're just sharpening the very edge. You know, you aren't polishing the stone like with an arc. You aren't polishing, the blades, but the bevel, right?
Yeah.
And so it's those are two different things. I mean, I think you can get a better polish with stones on the bevel, but you won't get the angles just right. So then the Sharp Maker just does the angles. So whatever.
Okay. The Wicked Edge Pro Pack is $425.
Oh, it dropped. It used to be a lot more.
And the base system's $300. Oh,
yeah,
well, $320 with a quarter.
Didn't it used to be like $785 or something ridiculous?
I don't know if it was ever that much, but like there was definitely a deluxe pack that they still have one that's like $600 or something.
That's just the like basic sharpener. I'm still looking for the.
And then they have like that new base or something for it, the more expensive.
Yeah, it's $20
base.
It's all about the base.
I don't know. I just feel bad like sending my knife to him because he's basically, when you send the knife to them, they have a sharpening service. So
here's
I shouldn't feel bad.
$750. Pro
Okay.
Pack 2, $750.
Why
Yeah.
not just send your knives when they're dull to them and pay them like the money? I mean, it's be cheaper for me, I think.
Well, what happens when they're not around, and if there's an emergency and
Yeah, well,
some kind of shit hits the
then
fan
I'll settle for
situation,
a
and
regular knife.
you can't sharpen your own knife.
Oh, I can sharpen my knife. Like I said, I can sharpen any knife on a sharp maker, Spyderco sharp maker. But I cannot. You cannot do an edge like they do on a wicked edge. And you're just paying for like that deluxe, bevel, polish,
Also have to be
super fine
careful
edge.
not to cut your finger off, because with a wicked edge, you can cut your finger off because you're pulling the sharp things towards you and not away from you. So
What about the Edge Pro? Because that thing you put the knife on like a table.
Are you telling me that the way my grandfather taught me to cut, which was in sharp yanking movements towards my torso, is the wrong?
No, yeah, you've seen the Edge Pro, right? I've seen tons of people on YouTube use that. You
Yeah,
it
sell
puts
them
the
on-
knife flat on like a rest on a table, and then you kind of slide the stone over it that way.
Hell,
And then
that
you
thing's
change
like
sides.
$200.
The Edge Pro?
Yep. Well, there's
Yeah,
different
that's
versions
something.
of it.
That's
The
what what's
cheap
his name
one's
uses.
$65.
That's what Apollo uses.
I was just looking at the knife on Facebook. Someone had a picture of a knife on Facebook, and one of my things popped up when I opened it, and I don't think my mom knows how to use Facebook because it says Pamela Riley just got married. I'm like, well, I hope her husband knows about that. Maybe she went and got gay married. I don't know.
Celebration of the gay marriage thing.
Well, that kid who first showed on TV, the son of the prison worker who helped those two murderers escape, he was like, "Oh, that's my mom. She didn't do anything wrong." He didn't know. He had no clue that his mom was banging the prisoners. He was just some,
She wasn't banging him. She was just giving him a hand job.
She was helping him serve hard.
hard time, right? Okay.
So I don't see anything on Wicked Edge about sending them your knives.
Yeah, you'll find it. Sharpening service or sharpening demo or whatever. $5, I think, was what I paid.
What?
It's fucking sick, dude. Yeah, you have to pay shipping back and forth. But.
I will send them all my knives tomorrow if I can find it.
It was one demo. I don't think it was send them a box full of knives.
No, I called them. They were like, "We have a sharpening service. So you want us to sharpen your knives?" And like, it's not just a part of that. Wicked Edge USA. Let's see here.
That's nice of them. Nice of them.
Knife of them.
Yeah, nice of
All
them.
right, I think on that note, you might want to end this. You got knives on the brain.
No, wait a minute. There's some other knife sharpeners that I wanted to talk about.
Free ground shipping.
I hate when people. That's the one thing I put on Topps website is that they have now on their new website. Topps is offering free shipping down, but only the contiguous 48 states. I mean, it doesn't cost any more to ship from the post office to Hawaii than it does to Nevada. I mean,
That can't be true. They got to put it on a boat and
it's a post office. It's like it doesn't matter.
Sure it does.
No.
A first class stamp is a first class stamp, either to Hawaii or Texas.
Yeah, I mean, they have those standard size shipping boxes, whatever, if it fits, it ships. Why do they got it? Why can't, doesn't cost them anymore, so.
And here's the thing, they fly most mail will fly from Georgia to Nevada or California to a distribution center anyway. How much further is it to fly from California to Hawaii as part of a normal distribution route?
Another 4 hours.
It's not that big of a deal, though. I mean, they just don't make as many stops along the way as they do.
Yeah, there's no layover in that island.
Yeah.
Excuse me, folks. We're going to stop here halfway for a second.
Although I do hate the flight to Hawaii because I'm one of these people. I would rather take, like, if I'm flying across country, I would rather do 3 2-hour flights than 1 5-hour flight.
Well, I used to do it all the time, but every time I used to do it, I knew I was going to be dubbing a film and making $15,000 a week, so I didn't mind so much. But those days are gone, so. nobody's paying me no money to fly back and forth anymore. So
I just don't like long flights. More than 2 hours on a plane, and I start to really get cabin fever.
I used to love flying.
Wesley, I would call them if you're serious
Hey,
about sending your
claustro.
knives. So.
Yeah, I might do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Are you somewhat claustro? Yankee?
You talking to me? Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
highly claustrophobic. I don't like
Okay.
closed spaces. That's why I don't even like Hawaii. I can't even be on the island for very long. I start to feel trapped.
island fever.
Like I gotta get the fuck off this island.
It might tip over if I'm on one side of it.
That's all. That's only if we all ran to one side at the same time,
Hell,
or if they built an Air Force base on one side.
that was the greatest clip ever.
I was always like, man, here I thought it was a prerequisite that you at least graduate junior high school to be a senator, but I guess it wasn't.
No. You just got to be a lawyer.
Is that worse?
Yep.
Yeah, I went there when vacation was great. I loved it. I just couldn't live there.
My son, my oldest son, loves it. He wants to move there forever, just like live there. But I'm like, no, I don't think we're gonna.
Which one? You should older or younger?
Oldest son.
Yeah, he saw the ladies.
Like that, and he just likes the laid back, sit around on the beach lifestyle.
Once he starts, spending his own money, it's like, wait a minute, how much is this?
Well, you can get that same lifestyle down in the Gulf and spend a lot less money. Just move
Yeah.
up to Alabama. Well, there are parts of Florida that feel just like being in Hawaii, except milk isn't $6 a gallon.
Exactly.
You get hit by a hurricane 2 or 3 times a year.
Well, here's the thing, though. I mean, you get the nice island breeze versus in Florida where it gets humid.
Okay? Yeah,
It gets humid here too.
Hot as fuck in Hawaii sometimes. Like I said, I sunburned through my shirt last time I was there.
It doesn't have anything to do with how hot it is.
The sun is just so intense.
I go there during September and August, so that's when it's still kind of.
I think last time I was there in August. I was there like the last week of August actually, and it was so freaking intense. The sun was.
I'm trying to find this other knife sharpening system I was thinking about getting. And I have so many freaking bookmarks, it's insane. And every time I come on and have a chat, just people keep telling me to bookmark more stuff. It's worse and worse.
This whole time I'm trying to find this guy on YouTube. It's like a total knife nut. Oh, here we go. Neptune Knives. He is a fucking nutcase, man, but in a good way. He is like, I can't even imagine. There's no analog to this jerk, but he used to like do torture tests on knives and then like get into total fucking flame wars with text messages with like the knife manufacturer owners and stuff. And then he would put it on his YouTube channel, and he was like trying to sell knives too. And then he'd get all pissy when like someone would be like, "You can't even sell my fucking knives anymore, dude. Like I don't want you to be a retailer." And he used to just do wild shit, like bring a folding knife out there in the woods and like put those cut-proof gloves on and start beating the shit out of it, whacking it, spine whacking it, batoning, all that shit. And when it would finally fail, he'd be like, "See, this knife's a piece of shit." But he'd still be trying to sell it, like on his website. This guy's crazy. But Neptune Knives, dude, you gotta subscribe to this guy. Go back in time and watch his old videos when he was a nut. I think at some point, like Ernest Emerson told him, like, dude, I'm gonna kick your ass or something. Someone like finally told him to shut the fuck up. He's a little bit more mellow, but he's definitely got some cool shit. Now he's making his own knives, like his own karambit. It's pretty interesting. A lot of these YouTube guys with knives, they all went on to like start making knives, like, and some of them became super popular, dude. Like Gavco and Tough Thumbs and people like that. Knife pimpers.
Neptune Knives. There it is.
Yeah, back in the day, like if you can subscribe to Tough Thumbs right now and go back and look when he used to just pimp knives. Like you'd send him your knife and he'd change the G10 scales on it, do some acid washing or whatever, anodizing, and he was good at it. But now his flippers are like right up there with Horton's, man. Super expensive, exclusive, handmade. It's kind of cool watching people from YouTube like start their own small businesses and then become kind of cool like exclusive handmade companies and stuff. You don't get to see that with guns because I guess it's just too much, you know. Like if Nothing Fancy came out with his own gun. Even that dude Jay Davis on YouTube came out with his own knife company, and I don't think it worked out too
Nothing
well.
Fancy came out with his own gun. Everybody else on YouTube would review it and say it's just so terrible.
I was about to say, it's the same quality as a Keltec. Oh, wait. Now I get it.
I mean,
yeah, Tough Thumbs is honestly, Wesley, I'm saying you probably subscribe to Tough Thumbs and then go through his videos. He was doing some really cool custom shit.
Thumbs? Is that what his name is?
Yeah, TUFF Thumbs. The thumbs might have been a...
Because he cut it so many times, it's pretty much all calloused and...
Dude, his thumbs, I'm not kidding. Yeah, they were mostly like tabletop, he was like, hey, a customer sent me this Cold Steel or the Spyderco, and I did this. His thumbs were cut up. It was just... Dude, it's like, remember when Huck would show his hands and shit? Like, these people are working with metal all day and filing shit and sharpening stuff.
Uncle Tough Thumbs, huh?
Yeah, what is this? It's TUFF Thumbs, but with a Z.
TUFFTHUMBZ.
Yeah. How many subs is... He don't have many subscribers, right? Probably not.
Almost 17,000.
Yeah. But,
I mean, not many compared to you ballers, but...
Yeah, but back in the day, he was a pimping knives. But what's his name did a video? Skelton. Jim Skelton did a video of his knives. Fucking damn. It's like, I think they're, super expensive. Boker did a knife with him. That was like the first collaboration they did with him. Called
Boker did
the War Toad.
Collab with this guy?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. I was subbed to him 6-7 years ago or whatever, and watching him really just become a successful knife guy. It's really cool.
Yeah, those are the two I got. The Quikens or those Burnley collaborations with Boker.
Oh, okay. You saw Blade HQ just had a new Quiken come in for pre-order. The Quaken or whatever the fuck.
Do what now? They had a new one?
Yeah, it's a new Quiken or Quaken, for pre-order. It's a Todd Begg, production knife.
Who had that?
It's
Blade
a few
HQ
$100
or Blade Ops?
No, Blade HQ. They sold out pretty fast. It was a $5 prepayment. You put $5 down or whatever. I should have done it. It was a super badass knife, dude. It's like a production model of his custom handmade one that was fucking $2,000 or whatever.
Maybe it's still on here. I can look at it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You said it was a Quiken. It was a Quiken.
Yeah, Todd Begg.
Spell Quiken.
Quiken is K-A-I.
No, it's K-W-I. It's K-W-A-I-K-E-N.
Blade HQ also has you can search by the designer name, so if his last name is Bag, you can just hit designers.
See, I don't like the handle on that. The Todd Begg Steelcraft series. I don't like the handle. Oh hell, they've got two of them.
Yeah, one's black stonewash or something.
Yeah, see, I don't like the handle at all.
But isn't that handle pretty much like a sword handle? It's pretty cool. I thought it looked cool.
No, it's all machined up and crap. I don't like a handle at all.
Yeah, that's what's his name's signature look.
Yeah, I wouldn't even. I'm glad I didn't see it because I wouldn't have pre-ordered it anyway.
I didn't pre-order.
Not for $450 either. I'd rather buy a Strider.
No.
I'd have bought one of them SOE Striders.
Those were $6, right?
No, those were $3. The first ones were the number 25 one was $550.
You're kidding. That's not bad.
Now, the highest number started like low, and now he's on like number 5, like number 6 or 7, and they're like $800.
Oh, I think he's still selling them?
Yeah, he's got 4 of them that they're going to raffle off at their 4th of July party. You ought to go down there.
Oh, yeah.
You go to that 4th of July party, dude. I will PayPal you like $100 to buy raffle tickets for that knife. But I want photo evidence that you're at the
Yeah,
party.
I'll be like, let me get another bottle of scotch, man. Just got some customer.
Yeah, if I had the time and could drive down there, I would drive down to Camden just to go to their 4th of July thing.
Well, if you guys got in here late, in case I'll just re-announce this, the Tops Knives updated their website, and if you just register with them, they have a knife giveaway contest. So, giving away a couple of knives, so you can just go to Tops Knives website and just hit the register thing, and give me your email and whatever, and then you're automatically entered in the contest. So. Speaking of free knives,
nice. It's probably not going to be free.
It'll be free.
I don't know whether you have to buy raffle tickets or whether they're just going to draw shit and give them away.
Oh, for this knife you're talking about.
Yeah, but what's going to be cool is, well, he said they were going to have 4 of them. I don't know if they're going to raffle off all of them or just one of them. But either way, you got 1, 2, 3, or 4 of that knife. That's $2,000 easily. Because some dumb shit will pay like $2,000. I guarantee it.
Yeah, people want consecutive serial numbers.
Yep. Well, shit, not even that. Low serial number. It's like the one Quaiken I just got's like number 25.
Not doing it. Yeah, I'll go there and fucking Jesus Christ! What a nice what a car trip that is.
How long does it take you to get to Camden? Like 3 hours?
Fucking 5 hours or something.
It takes you as long as it would for me to get there. Holy shit.
Probably. It's like
it
all
takes
the
me
way.
11 to get to Atlanta.
It takes me like 4 hours to get to Nashville. Then I think he's like an hour from Nashville or something.
No, it's south of Nashville, isn't it?
No, they're west of Nashville.
Oh, they're west.
So
okay. Yeah, that's right. They're like straight west of Nashville.
Yeah, you go straight to fucking Nashville, and then you bust the fucking left and go west.
Look at that west side.
That's like an hour and a half or something.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you stop for gas and a fucking like toothless hillbilly says you're not going to make it out of the town, you know you're pretty much
there.
You're like, home.
We're here, kids.
It's like Cabin in the Woods.
When you hear the...
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
I don't know what this is off the knife topic, but OSOE hasn't posted a video up in like 4 days. I'm like going through withdrawal.
What did you say? Lance quit?
No, Lance didn't quit. Lance is on summer vacation because his kids are in town. He's been posting up videos left and right.
And what about Jaeger's daughter? She quit?
Oh, she quit. She quit. Him and her husband, or her and her husband, I think both are working for old Baldy now. So.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Dude, Lance posted a video today, and he was like, just a little like Instagram video. He's like, I was out raking my leaves today, and I realized my rake wasn't working very well. I looked down, and I realized I had it upside down. So just remember, pay attention to what the fuck you're doing. Like, holy shit.
Oh, man, that's crazy. I mean, they built that whole new facility, and it looked like everyone left. This is going to be him and Pablo.
No, dude, it's not even done yet. Place looks like an operating room. It's all like white and like clean, and it's not even finished yet. It looks really good though compared to what it was when I first bought it. Man, that place looks good. But not everybody quit. They just hired. They've still got like 40 people that work there.
That's the problem when you make like a really cool, good, high quality product. You know, there's not a lot of return customers. You know, I bought my micro rig, which I never used. I was going to take a rifle class and use it. I didn't even do it. But then I bought 2 belts, and that's it. Like, you know, when will I need? I bought a wallet. I sold it to Ralph.
Did you see the new Stingray wallets?
Yo, those looked awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, if those would have been like 50, 60 bucks, I'd have bought one.
Oh, what do they want?
$100.
Yeah, that's a little much.
Yeah, I got to send an email because I want to know how to order a Typhoon with toxic cop rig, and that option's not on the pull down. I'm not well. Typhoon is, but only Typhoon with red, and like there's no Typhoon with toxic. So I gotta know whether I just go in and put in the option to change threads and then pay like the extra 20, 40 bucks or whatever, and then wait 6 months, or if I can actually just buy it. Because I want to get the whole thing. I want I want the cop rig and the H set. So that way I can be tactical.
I do want an H harness or whatever they call it. It's pretty cool stuff. I mean, if there's only like if it's an expensive way to like have 4 mags and a
You can have 6.
first aid kit. You can grab it and throw it in your car or whatever.
So you get a shotgun rig, you can put 6 mags in there, I think.
Oh yeah, I think so.
6, and then you can have the 6, 12, 18 shotgun, or the 3 shotgun cards on the outside, so you can have 18 rounds of buckshot or whatever, plus 6 AR or AK mags. So you can carry a lot of shit on one of them. But I know watching their videos got me a little bit more into knives. Well, than I was. But really, I got into these knives, especially recently, is Instagram and those patch forums that I'm on. Those guys are crazy about knives.
Yeah, I don't think you want to reach the point where it's just you go insane and buy too many.
Well, what gets me is not even the knives, but the bottle openers. Like, there's guys paying $600, $700, $800, $1,200 for a bottle opener. Like, what the hell is your problem?
They're just collectors, man. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
don't care if it's made out of unobtainium. That shit's crazy.
It's like saying someone paid $500,000 for a stamp. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, well.
Well, that's because there's one. This guy could make 20 more of those things tomorrow.
Well, generally it takes a little while to make a quality knife.
Okay, maybe. No, not a knife, a bottle opener.
A bottle opener, I don't know.
Yeah, these guys make like titanium, like it's called a Cy-Pop, made by that Burnley. Same guy makes the knives and stuff. He makes a Cy-Pop, and it's a glorified. It's like a single knuck. It's like a single finger brass knuckle, but it's a bottle opener, and there's guys paying upwards of $600-$700 for these things, and that I just don't understand.
Bartenders?
No.
I mean, it's only people I think would need a brass knuckle
and they just buy them because they're titanium, they're brass, they're manganese, whatever stuff.
Manganese.
Like whatever they are. I mean, they're crazy.
All I know is I have so many goddamn knife sharpening links. I know I have a new system I was interested in. I have I'm going through my links and my bookmarks. And I have so many important things that I haven't gotten to yet. Oh yeah, I remember I was like, that seemed really important about a month ago, and it's still on here. That seemed really important a year ago, and there's a knife I was looking at 6 months ago, and I don't know.
Yeah, I need to go look and get a good knife sharpener. What was that one you put up
Spyderco Sharp Maker, dude.
Yeah, that's.
I get that on Amazon somewhere.
And Blade HQ has them. Yeah, they're probably on Amazon or on eBay too. But now, where was that?
Let's see.
What the hell is?
I threw all these dirty bookmarks down here. I don't know why I got those.
Well, they don't, whatever. They call it knife porn, So.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
And like I know there's a really interesting sharpening system I have down on here somewhere. Maybe by next week I can find it in my bookmarks.
There we go.
I think it was up. I'll look at Dino's site. He has some stuff, and maybe I'll actually. He's probably the guy that recommended it to me in the first place. So I haven't looked at his website in a while. I need to catch up on if he posted anything. But,
Well, Blade Ops does not sell any decent, that look decent sharpeners. So let's go to Blade HQ. Blade HQ. I wish I could have a butterfly knife in the state and actually carry it.
well, according to the Second Amendment, you should be able to. So,
Yeah,
according to
no.
the Connecticut state court ruling, I was talking state Supreme Court of Connecticut. Their ruling. You should. So, if you live in Connecticut, you can. But
Well, here's an interesting thing that I heard the other day, and I don't know if anybody else saw it, but after the Supreme Court there ruled on the gay marriage that everybody has an equal opportunity, equal right to be married and be miserable.
14th Amendment interpretation.
Yep. Yeah. So I read an article put out by somebody, I can't remember who it was, and they said that there's somebody that's already planned a lawsuit that says, well, if you say every state has to acknowledge a wedding license, why doesn't every state has to acknowledge a concealed carry license?
It has to do. They're gonna say it's the government has a interest. The interest in marriage is to make sure it's just so that children are taken care of. The interest in guns is different. So making sure people doesn't turn into a Mad Max future where everybody shoots everybody.
It's a Mad Max dystopian future where everybody's carrying around Wild West style, shooting everybody all himbly bimbly.
Yeah, well, that was I think somebody said, it's the same problem with Obamacare and gun control and Social Security is that they all envision this utopian future, but without realizing that the other side of that coin is a dystopian reality. So, just see the same two sides of the same coin. It only works up to a point. I'm not saying that you should never try and make society better. But trying to save everybody it's not possible, unless it's utopia, and that never works. So there's always a catch. There's always a catch.
The Spyderco thing, $63.
No, I paid like $30 on Amazon or something like eBay.
Oh,
maybe $40.
on Blade HQ, it's $63.
Yeah, some things you can't buy on Blade HQ.
No, I'm going to Amazon. Save me, Amazon. Save my wallet, because I just blew it up earlier.
Weren't you the guy who bought the AK thing, the AK can't adjuster thing last time that we were talking about that?
AK can adjust?
Yeah, the AK sight, adjuster.
The front sight? I have a tap, though. It works. It took me a while to do it, though.
Yeah, we already had that discussion. We already had that discussion. I don't find the link. I'm already looking for a different link. So
Spyderco Triangle Sharp Maker, 2 medium and 2 fine, $70.40.
No.
Yep.
Try eBay.
Well, how long ago did you buy it, dude?
Triangle.
I had to buy a new one like 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Inflation's kicked in. $1 is now worth 12 cents. What are you talking about? Triangle Sharp Maker. Here's directly from Amazon. It's $52.46. What the hell do you get for that?
Okay, I think I paid like 40 something, so maybe it went up a few bucks.
Well, it has different options here. I'm trying to see.
It should come with 2 black stones and 2 white stones. That's it. Medium and then fine or whatever.
Ivory.
Or coarse and medium or.
Fine.
You can buy extra stones. They make a lot of different stones for it.
Yeah.
It says there's like when you just look at the thing, it says it's either 100 or says it's $52.46 or it's $176.68. But there's like no options here on different shit.
Try eBay. The fucking Chinese haven't cloned. Like, they're not making fake sharp makers yet.
Set includes 2 sets of high alumina ceramic stones, sharpens planes, flat edges, blah, 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 blah. Looks like it's got 4 stones with it. Yeah, 2 white ones and 2 like gray ones.
Yeah, that's it. $50.
$58.49.
On eBay?
Yeah, check
on
eBay.
Amazon. That's Amazon.
On Amazon.
Check eBay.
All right.
Check eBay. I have that shit bookmarked. We'll add that to wish list so I can find it.
It should have 2 brass guards too. The hand guards are important. So you don't
Yeah,
cut your hand off.
it's got those. It's got those. I ain't worried about cutting my hand off. I don't need it anyway. I don't need a left hand anyway. It's all good. Let's see. Paste. Man, the first one that popped up on eBay is only $55. Same numbers as the one that's on. There's one that's used for $38. I think that's used. Oh, that one's taking bids for that one, and it's got 13 hours left.
Damn, so I guess I paid $50. I thought I paid like 40 something. So I wanted to say 30 something, but okay.
Yeah,
it's worth it.
Yeah, it's $38, but it's got 13 hours. There's one that's $70 that's a buy it now. And there's the 55 one that's buy it now. So
this is turning into one big knife sharpener chase.
Oh, I found it. I just can't buy it tonight. I already overspent for today. That's for damn sure.
Isn't it tomorrow yet?
That's beside the point. I'm done till like 7th or the 8th. I'm done. I done blew my entire wad all over tonight. So
on what? On what?
On an auction. I bought 3 patches that I shouldn't have bought.
Patches?
Patches.
Patches?
Patches.
You don't
patches?
Need
we don't need no
patches.
stinking patches. Yep. Yep. I blew it up. Won the auction at the last minute. I sniped them. I did. So now I'm broke for like 9 days.
Oh, Walmart has it for $47. There you go.
Yeah, but they don't sell a Confederate flag anymore, so fuck Walmart. But neither does eBay. I don't know what Amazon's doing. So
They don't have it either.
Amazon pulled them all too?
But you can still get Ku Klux Klan hoods. So
Yeah, and probably ISIS flags if you order them right. Yeah, I was so pissed off. There's a place in Ohio called the Flag Lady's Flag Store.
I saw the General Lee with an American flag on it. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
They're changing the Dukes of Hazzard now.
Yeah.
Cool.
But they announced the Flag Lady Flag Store has decided to stop selling the Confederate flag. But what they neglected to say is, from what I figured out, that they only stopped selling it because they received like 260 orders for it in like 20 minutes. So they're like, we can't keep up with this.
That's funny.
But they didn't say that on the news. They were just like, oh, we've decided to stop selling it. I was ready to take my American flag back down there and be like, look, bitches, I don't want this if you're going to stop selling that. I'll go buy it somewhere else.
Well, I think it'll create, people will make the flags and sell them for more on their own websites,
What gets me is that all these historical parks like Gettysburg and all that, it's like, we're no longer selling Confederate flag memorabilia at this battlefield. Like, why? Like, it's pretty sad that our country's first plan of action is to just give the fuck in. I hate that. It's just pathetic. Oh, you don't like that? Okay, we'll remove it. No problem. We'll just cave into all your little bullshit desires. Whatever. Just ticks me off.
Well, this is an argument that's been going on for like 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah, and because
It's
some
just like
dipshit
this-
goes in and
yeah.
shoots 9 people, got just what they
That
wanted.
had something to do about it. Like if those photos, he didn't have the flag when he shot up the church, but like those
There
photos
was a
that,
picture of him on his Facebook with a Confederate
Right.
flag. Yeah,
That was his motivation.
yeah. Flag made me do it.
oh, the flag, it was an assault flag.
High capacity assault flag.
I don't know.
Well, nobody liked my water joke last week, so.
What was your water joke? I missed it.
Well, in New York and Los Angeles, if you run a marathon, you're not allowed to put sodium in your water because then it'd be salt water.
Salt water. Yeah.
And then they wanted to throw me off before we even started the chat because it was so bad.
Wah, wah, wah.
I mean,
That's like the thing I saw on Facebook the other day. It had like a drowning
really
man.
that bad of a joke? Yeah, they're like, yes, it was
Yeah, it
terrible.
was.
So, all
Stone
right.
guy called. He wants his joke back.
He wants to come on and oh well, whatever.
Well, I'm still saving my joke. Wait.
Oh, it's an off-air joke. All right.
Oh, it's an on-air joke. It's an about to go off-air joke.
Well, I got my finger on the off-air button. So.
No, it's not a dirty joke. It's slightly racist and sexist, but it's not a dirty joke.
Well, just save it for off-air then, please. Thank you. I already had to ban one person today. I think I don't even know how to ban anybody. You know, I don't know. I don't know why he came on.
You got to ask Cork. He knows.
How to,
He's the ban hammer.
he's somebody with.
He's the bald Thor.
I asked him earlier if I wanted to talk about how to fillet his cat. With a
Oh my
fillet
God.
knife.
Meow 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 meow.
Well, did you see the video he put up? His cat looked like very sexually aggressive towards Quark.
Oh yeah. It hadn't gotten laid in a while.
Should see it after
Purring
a
and
week,
looking at Quark and insisting on attention.
Yeah, well.
It was presenting itself.
He's like, take me.
I mean, it's a cat. You know, one time I was walking down the street and there's two cats, and one cat rubbed against me, and the other cat started getting mad and angry, and they started fighting. And I just walked away, and they were still fighting.
That's crazy. I got a crazy cat story if you're ready for it.
Okay, yeah.
All right, well.
Is it an on-air or?
It's definitely on air.
I don't know if we can handle a DB funny pussy story.
It's definitely on air.
Okay.
Definitely on air. Okay. Well, my mom had Persian cats back in the early 90s. And they were really like high-priced Persian, purebred cats. But, like they inbred those cats and shit. I don't know. All those inbred, purebred cats have health problems and stuff. A lot of them. So there was this little Persian cat, and it had horrible intestinal problems. So, it would go to the kitty litter box and it would come back out, and it's fucking like its asshole was like inside out, like its like intestines were sticking out, and it looked like a sausage casing, and it was horrible. It was like I didn't know what to do, so. And the cat was like, it was horrible. So you'd wait till the next morning, you'd bring him right to like the vet's office, like, what the fuck? And he was like, oh my God, we got to change this cat's diet. It can't keep happening. Whatever. So it happened a couple more times, and we went to the vet, and he was like, next time this happens, I'm going to show you what I do. I have to poke it back in. It's like it's about 2 inches of like anus is like sticking outside of this cat. So meow meow meow. So he shows me he's got like rubber gloves on, and he takes his pinky and he like softly pokes it back inside the cat, and now it's like it looks what it looks like. His pinky's up this cat's ass. So, oh my God, Jesus Christ! That's what I have. That's what I have to do. And they're like, yep. So sure enough, that should happen again. And I had to shove my pinky up a fucking cat's ass. I had to poke his intestines back in, straight up into his ass. And at that moment,
At that time, DB knew he'd fucked up.
yeah, at that moment I knew I fucked up.
Wow.
Yeah. I knew that was on air chat. I know it's a knife chat. But... Anyway.
I don't know why the cat did that in the first place. But...
If you've never stuck your pinky up a cat's ass.
You haven't lived.
I highly suggest not doing it.
Okay.
Wow. And on that note,
I don't know how to get back to knives from there.
Okay, well,
if you were gonna fillet a cat, what knife would you use?
No, definitely like a whatchamacallit, a Moro, or what is it, Moro knife?
A Moro knife.
A Moro knife.
Okay. On that note, this has been the I Hate.
Hold on, I didn't get to tell my joke yet.
On that note, this has been the I Hate Knives Lock and Load Monday.
My joke is being repressed. I demand free time.
What are you? That's what the Zombie Master guy said.
But Hillary's for free speech.
You can speak all you want. You know,
Hillary is for free speech.
We're out of nice stuff for now, and we're on to, you know, cat jokes. So I blame Quark, and I don't know who else to blame because he's the cat person on Gun Channel. So.
What was crazy was my pinky didn't even smell afterwards.
Gun Channel's out.
Okay, guys. Good night. See you next week, and I'll kill everyone's cat between now and then.